Beacons Broadcasting Network. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Scooters getting you set for an outstanding women's hockey matchup between the UMass Boston Beacons and the Suffolk University Rams. It is Pink the Rink Day in UMass Boston. Last year, the Beacons defeated Castleton 6-3 in this event. Today, the Beacons will look to take on the Suffolk Rams for the first time ever as Suffolk makes their inaugural campaign in the New England Hockey Conference. Last time out, yesterday, the Beacons triumphed over Salem State, beating the Vikings 7-1. Ellie Falieris got her first career hat trick. Casey Adamy also recorded her first career assist as the Beacons got their second victory in the conference. Meanwhile, the Rams beat Johnson and Wales for the second time this season, 4-1 yesterday. Tess Adams had a goal and an assist, and Kristen Caparuso, the netminder, had 19 saves on 20 shots. And Matt, when you take a look at this, the Beacons are starting to bounce back. They started out 0-2 in the NEHC under Coach Tom Losey, and since then, they have been clicking. They've won 2 of their last 3 in the conference, and a win puts them in position to move into the top 4 against a Suffolk team that's off to a solid start as well in their first year in the NEHC.
Yeah, first matchup for these teams, as you mentioned, and I think, as you said last night, really important for this Beacons team. You know, a 7-goal outing, and I think the offense has been an area of concern to start this season. A couple games that were close where they got the goaltending, didn't have the offense to back it up. So I think a game like that, get a little bit of confidence back into this group, could really pay dividends today against the Suffolk team where there's a little bit of an unknown.
Let's take a look at the pregame stats coming into today. Suffolk University averaging almost 4 goals a game, but they are giving up almost 2.35. Meanwhile, Suffolk averaging 41 shots per game compared to the Beacons' 33. It's not often you see teams that average more shots than the Beacons. They get a lot of shots on goal, so that's an impressive number. Also, equally as impressive, Beacon special teams this year. 30% on the power play, 96% on the penalty kill. That's been a key reason to them bouncing back in the conference the last few games.
Yeah, without question. And most times if your special teams are in tip-top shape like that, you put yourself in contention for W's, and you can see a 96% on the penalty kill is outstanding. That's very, very high. And 30% on the power play is also usually 20-25% is where you want to be. So 30% looking good, and special teams should be a catalyst for this team today, as we see the pink special uniforms today, celebrating the pink in the rink. And for those out there with breast cancer, all types of cancer, thanks for tuning in today where this is in support of you.
Take a look at the team leaders. Individually, the Beacons with 4 players with 3 goals. Meanwhile, Tess Adams leads the way for Suffolk with 7 goals and 8 assists. 15 points in just 8 games for their star forward. Meanwhile, Caparuso, the netminder, with a .910 save percentage and a .165 GAA. Katie Flagg still out with an injury, leads the Beacons in save percentage and goals against average. 3 things to know for this one. Of course, the first ever meeting between these 2 programs. Suffolk's head coach, Taylor Waislick, was a former UMass Boston assistant coach during the 14-15 season and a graduate of Boston College. And, of course, as I mentioned, the Beacons came back from a 3-0 deficit last year to beat Castleton in the Pink the Rink game. It's time for the national anthem, so we're going to pause here on the Beacons Broadcasting. Actually, you know what? We got a moment here while they're going to do a few announcements for the Pink the Rink. So while we have the moment, let's take a look at our player to watch today, Brie Colucci. And of course, one of those stout upperclassmen defenders, 3 points in 7 games so far in her junior year. She's going to be lining with Grace Fisher today as they'll continue the Adamy and Gallucci line up top. But the Beacons' defense has been solid this year. The depth and experience that they have supplemented by the size and strength and speed of the freshman Adamy. Yeah,
you look at Gallucci, and I think, you know, outstanding defenseman, logs a lot of minutes, but I think the key there is when she tries to simplify the game. When you see her doing too much, there's a tendency to create some turnovers there, and I think when we see her at her best is when she keeps things really simple, really has the offensive side. We see her in all 3 zones contributing, and I just think that when things are simple for her is when she's at her best. So look for her today. She's on the second pairing with Fisher, as mentioned, and someone that's going to have to backstop this team when Suffolk is bound to get some chances.
Take a look at the UMass Boston starters today for the Beacons. On the forward lines, Jane Morissette, Ellie Falieris, and Kaylee Beauregard. On the blue line, Ariel Gallucci, Casey Adamy, and in net, Alyssa DePippo. For the Rams, starting today at the forwards, Tess Adams, who of course had the goal and assist, leads the team in points. Had that goal and an assist yesterday in their win against Johnson and Wales. She'll be lining with Shayna Cote and Peyton Dacus. On the blue line will be Izzy Hendry and Sydney Jordan, and the netminder, Kristen Caparuso. We're going to pause for a moment for the national anthem. When we come back, opening face-off between the Rams and the Beacons. So the national anthem has been played. The players are on the ice. Beacons in their special Pink the Rink uniforms today. All pink and white with their blue shorts and names on the back of their jerseys. Meanwhile, for Suffolk in their road navy blues with gold and white socks. And Matt, as we get set for this one, last week during the men's game, we were talking about the last time, or if it's ever happened, that a Beacon had scored their first goal and gotten a hat trick in their first game.
Oh, don't tell me you dug this up.
Well, it didn't happen yesterday that it was their first game, but it was what we said, the first goal and a hat trick when you score your first goal, and that was Ellie Falieris yesterday, scoring her first collegiate goal as a freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, and recording a hat trick in the Beacon 7-1 win against Salem State. So as
pretty
we
impressive.
say it, the following week, Ellie Falieris comes in,
How
and
about
she
that?
is going to be lining on that top line with Jane Morissette and Kaylee Beauregard as Edie Moritz kicks down to the second line. And I think Coach Lozzi thinks that is going to provide some offense as it did yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit just now in the pregame. And you see a tendency, it's funny, growing up, there was more of a swing towards, splitting up your best players. You wanted balance amongst your at least top two, if not top three lines. But there's a tendency lately, you see Beauregard with Felieris and Morissette, really three offensive powerhouses for this UMass Boston team. You're going to see them on a line today, and I'll be curious. They are starting the game here today, so we'll have to see as this line, if they maintain throughout the game or they get splitting up. We'll have to see.
Face off to open this one, won by the Rams. Beacons, though, gain possession at neutral ice. Punching this one forward is Falieris. She knocks it back to Morissette. Jane tries to backhand it down into the corner for Ellie. Instead, it's taken and siphoned around the end boards by Shayna Cote. Collision there, near side circle. This one trickles out to neutral ice into the Beacons' half of the ice, as Morissette will poke it away from Tess Adams, the senior from Calgary, Alberta. Backhanded near side by Ariel Gallucci. The Beacons' captain finds their other captain, Jane Morissette. She backhands this one towards Beauregard, who sends it into the opposition's ice. Volpe over the red line and into the Beacons' defensive zone as this one siphoned far side out of the grasp of Jessie Kennedy. A lot of Canadians on this squad. Kennedy from South World, Ontario. As we have a stoppage of play, the puck made its way out of play for a moment. And with 19:08 to go, our first stoppage as Alyssa DePippo continues to stretch in her crease.
A little bit of a brewing rivalry between these two schools. Suffolk not too far from the campus of UMass Boston, two schools that are Division III within the city. I know some teams are just outside. There are some Division III just outside of the greater Boston area. These two teams obviously with campuses with Boston addresses, so a little bit of a brewing rivalry here, even though it's their first time in their matchup.
Absolutely. The proximity to these two schools certainly lends itself to a rivalry in the future. Of course, Suffolk playing the Beacons for the first time in their first year in the New England Hockey Conference. And we'll see if this game can help fuel that rivalry. Both teams desperately wanting the victory as they come into play chasing the top teams in the conference right up in front. And what a save made by DePippo on a one-time blast from Jessie Kennedy.
Yeah, left all alone in front was Kennedy. A pass from behind the net right into the slot, and a tough first save there for DePippo. I mean, you talk about prime real estate. It doesn't get any better than that. That's where I think every shooter would want if they could park all the time. But good save. DePippo taking everything away down low, was able to corral the rebound as well.
Third line's out here for both squads. Kozik, Leffler, and Harris for the Beacons. Donahue, Sydney Teets, and Emily Johnston for the Rams. This one backhanded far side for Teets. Sydney, it's poked away by Grace Fisher. Still in the attacking zone for UMass Boston as it's siphoned around by Kylie Searles. Searles loses possession as it's poked to the near side boards before it's sent back from whence it came by Johnston to Searles. Playing pitch and catcher, Johnson and Searles. Johnson tried to backhand it out of the zone, kept in by our player to watch, Free Colucci. Near side boards, Searles lets it trickle down into the corner. Played out of harm's way by Grace Schultz, a freshman from Illinois. Kept in at the line by Colucci. Sends it near side boards for Harris. Harris back down low for Katie Leffler, who's been smoking hot of late. 6 points in 7 games so far this year. She leads UMass Boston in that category. From behind the net, Leffler tried to pull this one back, got it poked away. Far side, Kozik. Kozik's got a man in front. They score! Emily Harris delivers for UMass Boston as the Littleton, Colorado native gets her third of the year and puts the Beacons up 1-0.
Well, really nice play there, John. You saw the Beacons had Suffolk really pinned in their own zone, and it came out towards the top. Colucci made a nice play. You mentioned the player to watch. That's that simple play. Just keeping that puck in, was able to get it down into the corner. Beacons forwards continue to work it from there, and then Harris found the soft spot. That's very similar to where Suffolk was not that long ago in that high or that low slot rather, and she's able to tuck that 5-hole to give the Beacons a 1-0 lead.
Beacons scored 7 against Salem State yesterday after a good start in the first 2.5 minutes, as that one is sticked away by DePippo on a blast from the far side from Peyton Dacus. Top line out there for the visiting Rams. Beacons sending the fourth line, which is today manned by Julia Nolan, Sarah King, and Janessa Hernandez. Meanwhile, losing it in her own zone, getting poked away was Drill. Beacons trying to get it out of harm's way, almost into the bench. In fact, it was. And so a face-off will remain in UMass Boston's zone with 17:13 to go, first period action.
And you go back to the goal there. It's so tough for the defense, the goaltenders, to have to read that play behind the net. You're looking behind you. You know eventually that puck is going to come back towards in front of you, and so it's a little bit more challenging. And you saw there just the quick shot from Harris. As long as you can put that in a spot, you saw DePippo with the save, but it's very challenging for goaltenders. There's a shot and a save there by DePippo, a little bit of a rebound, but another save.
As DePippo continues to play strong in her crease, initial save on Madison Duff from the point shot. The Beacons get it out of harm's way. Meanwhile, for UMass Boston, their scoring continues to be well-rounded as the assists on that one come from Leffler and Kozik. Here's a one-time chance far side, but unable to settle that one down on her stick was Haley Pulaski on a feed from Volpe. Far side boards. Fighting for Kennedy as she is battling on the far side corner. Getting tripped up with friendly fire there was Adamy as this one siphoned around the near side boards. Duff fires a shot high and wide over the glove of DePippo. From the far side, that one shot up in the air, keeping this one down and eventually trying to siphon it out with Beauregard. She can't do so. It's kept in the zone all the way into the crease with City Teets, but she was unable to get a shot away. Duff keeps it in from the blue line as Madison uses the end boards to get it around to Adamy. Adamy, D-to-D feed near side for Ariel Gallucci. Since that goal, the Rams putting a lot of pressure on here. A good bounce-back shift for them.
Yeah, it was a good shift. I mean, Beacons need a full change here. That puck is turnover here, John.
Yeah, you said it. As trying to get that one in on net was the assistant captain, Beauregard, but she got it poked away by the defense. The Beacons regroup from their neutral ice as Drill's unable to connect there with Moritz stretching into the attacking zone. As I was saying, the Beacons scoring well-rounded. They're now led in scoring by Leffler all alone with 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. As this one is sent all the way in where the Beacons and the Rams will chase after it. However, Harris, Kozik, both who tallied on that goal. Kozik with the assist, Harris with the goal as Jane Andrill keeps it out of her own crease, as well as Jane Morissette have 6 points. So the Beacons with plenty of characters up near the leaderboards as they've spread the scoring around this year.
A couple good shifts here from the Suffolk Rams. Been 2 or 3 in a row now where they've really been able to keep that puck possession in the offensive zone. Beacons with a bit of a tough time on their breakouts. You saw a couple chances there where they had opportunities to clear. The passes weren't connecting, or the outlet pass was just in a spot where the forwards couldn't corral it. And we've seen when there's pressure on this defensive unit, a tendency to turn the puck over. We've seen that in a couple games here. So keep an eye on that as this game progresses. You know, seeing if these Beacons, you see here, the pass on that tape, that puck will come out every time. If they can do that all game, they'll be able to really keep this Suffolk forecheck at bay.
Third line back out there. They scored the goal. Leffler looking for Harris far side. It's poked away from her grasp, but kept in at the blue line. Palucci couldn't get it down low. It's kept away from her, but unable to find the puck as she's skating through neutral ice was Jordan. And eventually it's taken by Kozik to neutral ice, drops it right on back down, and sent forward by UMass Boston's Fisher. Leffler over the blue line. Nifty dangles there. She takes the shot, but it was poked out of harm's way. Good stick in the shooting lane by Jessie Kennedy. Near sideboards into the circle. Unable to settle it down, but then it comes right down low into the net mouth on the near side, and denied down low was Kaylee Kozik. This third line of Kozik, Leffler, and Harris has unlimited offensive potential. Harris is senior, but Leffler and Kozik both underclassmen, so plenty of room to grow. Near side. Off the boards, taken in on one motion by King, but she got it poked away. Smart play by Izzy Hendry. Volpe tried to go cross ice to connect there with Kennedy. Unable to do so. Behind the net. Backhanded by the Beacons defender Ariel Gallucci, and this one sent off the far side boards. This will make its way all the way down, and they will call icing on UMass Boston.
Yeah, critical. It's fairly simple. When the Beacons are able to connect on that first outlet pass in their own zone, they normally break out of their own zone with ease, but you can see there that pass misses, goes for icing, and now you have an offensive zone or a defensive zone draw. And that really has been a pattern for the Beacons where if the passing isn't crisp, they really have a tough time in their own zone. You saw a couple times where, again, that first pass so critical creates some turnovers here in Suffolk. Obviously, the word is out as they've been pressuring these D to make that first pass in some tough spots.
Top line out there for the Rams. With possession, Tess Adams, team leader in points with 15. Behind the net, though, taken away by the Beacons' Casey Adamy. Took it from Tatum Dacus. Unable to find the puck was Parent, the Beacons' 19th skater today, as this one sent all the way down. This is not going to be icing. It won't make it all the way. Going to be caught down there by Stephanie Moy, a freshman from Burnaby, British Columbia. She drops it back, and it's moved forward by Madison Duff out of Michigan. Duff takes it away and moves forward with it all alone as she fires this one from the near side dot into the bread basket of DePippo for a whistle with 12:28 to go.
Good save there from DePippo, but you look at Coach Lozzi, and I think she might be recognizing what we're seeing up here, John, is that, again, Gallucci looking for that wing. They win this draw here. We'll get back to it after this rush from the Beacons.
Beacons moving forward. Kaylee Beauregard trying to stretch it in front as that one is swiped away by the netminder, Kristen Caparuso, with Morissette bearing down. Kept in at the blue line. Jane Andrill loves to do that. Skates on through for a one-time chance. Beauregard had to settle it down, which gave Caparuso time to get over. Nice save by the sophomore from Ontario.
I don't mind that play from Drill. Use it sparingly. You don't want to get caught doing that stick handling at your own blue line every time, but it keeps the forecheckers honest. You saw there, she makes a move and finds that backdoor pass and a nice save. But when you mix those in at the blue line every now and then, it keeps those forecheckers honest. They have to respect your ability to stick handle as Drill gets caught on a pinch there.
Yeah, and that leads Haley Pulaski into the Beacons zone, but coming on back to help out and poke it away from her was Morissette. Beacons in their own zone here as Jordan's shot didn't make its way through. Knocked down and skated forward by Fally Harris. Ellie, of course, got her first career goal, which led to a hat trick. Obviously her first in Beacons blue yesterday in that 7-1 win. Using that to propel her to maintaining her spot on the top line, centering both Morissette and Beauregard. Here is Edie Moritz, the second-line center now, as she takes a shot. That one off the skates of Sydney Jordan to the far side, kept in the zone by Fisher. Behind the net, unable to do anything with it there was Lund. She got tripped up. No penalties yet in the first 8:40 of this one. So the Beacons keep it in the zone momentarily before it's siphoned out and skated forward by Haley Pulaski. Pulaski sees it taken away by Brie Colucci, who sends it out to neutral ice. Stretching it near side here for Duff. Duff dumps it all the way in around the boards. It makes its way to the far side for Johnston. Johnston couldn't settle it down, though, as it trickles over her wickets to Erica Lund, and she will clear. And from neutral ice, the visiting Rams will regroup with the Beacons applying a heavy forecheck. Cote, top line center, backhands it near side for Tess Adams. Beacons doing a good job keeping it away from the leading scorer for Suffolk. Near side boards, Moritz fighting for it there with Peyton Dacus. And eventually Edie, with a little help from Grace Fisher, gets possession. Oh, bad turnover in front, and what a save! What perseverance and poise there from DePippo, as that was a turnover at point-blank range, and Shayna Cote almost tucked it home.
Colucci knows better than that. A pass up the middle, you better be sure. And you can see the coaching staff asking what she saw there, because a pass up the middle like that, you really have to have extra space to get that puck through. You saw there a quick turnover and a great save by DePippo, bailing out her defenseman. Boy, that could have been risky, or should really be 1-0. A play like that, so challenging for the goaltender, and a great save by DePippo.
You said it, as there's a chance again for the Rams. A backhand and a great kick save and a beaut with the left leg there as she denies number 18, Sydney Teets. DePippo's had her A game today, and she's needed it since the Beacons scored just a couple of minutes in. It's been all Suffolk Rams.
The passing's been better, John. They've possessed the puck and controlled the puck very well. The Beacons, since that opening goal, they had a couple good shifts to start, but had a real tough time in possessing the puck, maintaining control, as it looked like we could have had a penalty there, but Suffolk just controlling the puck a little bit better than the Beacons right now.
Kozik behind the net, looking for help. Does the line that scored, trying to do it again as Kozik was trying to find Leffler, but she had her stick tied up. Was poked out of harm's way and all the way down. This will be icing on the Rams.
Important draw here for the Beacons. Let's see what line. I would be shocked if she doesn't go with her top line, and yeah, sure enough. They really haven't had much offense since the goal. Still 9:38 left in this period, but it's really A lot of puck possession here for Suffolk, so I'm not surprised Losey going with her top line here, see if they can win a draw and start to get some momentum back in this hockey game.
They cannot. The Rams win it. To the far side corner it goes. As Suffolk trying to break out here. Almost turned it over. Instead, it does lead to a successful pass. As we got a 3-on-2 the other way, but offsides. As just getting out in front was Emily Johnston as Sierra Donahue had trouble at neutral ice.
And I'll have to get a read. It's tough with these pink jerseys to get the numbers with the white, but was that Adamy, I think, at the blue line? A really nice play there. You know, she and I don't know if she recognized, but she didn't have a defensive partner, and she challenged the puck carrier with the puck bouncing like that. It makes it really tough, and she actually created that offsides on her own. A really nice play by the defenseman there.
Beacons leading at 1-0 on the third goal of the year from Emily Harris as that shot by Volpe is off the glove of DePippo up and over the net. Alyssa's played well here in the first period since that goal. Made a couple of very difficult saves on great scoring opportunities from Suffolk. Near sideboards, Falliere sends it into the attacking zone, but couldn't get it past the defense as Grace Schultz sends it forward. Beacons chasing after it. Sacks are the first one there, but a good play on her stick to lift it up and get possession by Pulaski. Back to the blue line for Schultz. That one fired wide. And then Jay Morissette just pokes it out to neutral ice. And a chance for the Beacons to catch their breath a little. That one up and over the glove of Morissette by Schultz. Coming in all alone. Tough angle shot by number 28, Tess Adams. That one blocked down. Saxer, dangerous backhanded pass back to Drill with the forechecker Dacus bearing down. That one kept in from Duff. A quick shot hits the post. Rebound just sent wide by Adams as the team leader in points. Excuse me, that was actually Cote. Could not get it in.
Oh, my God, John. How that puck doesn't go in. Off the post from the blue line, and then the rebound right there. She had the entire net. Cote wasn't able to jam it home. I'm shocked that this game isn't tied. Beacons living by the skin of their teeth right now.
He said it. The Beacons see the puck hit the post from the shot of Schultz, and then Cote, a freshman from Colorado who's already got 6 goals in 8 career games, unable to tally her lucky number 7.
Sometimes you see with these shooters, when they have the entire net, a little case of the yips there. You saw that. He literally could put it anywhere. There was no way DePippo was going to be able to recover in time and just miss the net entirely. That's a tough break for this Suffolk Rams team, as then they follow that up with an icing. But boy, oh boy, that's one you wish you had back.
Absolutely. We'll see if the Beams can take advantage as Nolan is out there along with Parent. And on the far side, it's Hernandez. That shot from the point by Colucci is gobbled up by the netminder Caparuso. Give a shout out to one of my friends, the women's assistant basketball coach, Carolyn Crampton for the Suffolk Rams. They're off to a solid start on their 2018-19 campaign, as are the Beacons women, as they look to continue what has been a stellar run here in the last couple of years. Their program record 25-win campaign a year ago, off to a couple of wins to start this year. As the Rams into the attacking zone, sending this one from the far side wall towards a near side post. As that's another chance by Johnston. That one whistled high and wide on a deflection. DePippo's positioning today has been outstanding, and it's been the reason why the Beacons still lead at 1-0.
Oh, without question, John. Without question. Some great saves, and the Beacons have been fortunate to have some good bounces. But you see here on that breakout and see another missed pass, and this is going to come right back into the zone. Beacons really, it's been a common theme with this team. They're just not enough control of the puck. The passing has not been good enough. And Suffolk on a change. Beacons really need to get this puck deep and get a change themselves.
Rachel Peacock, who's back in the lineup this weekend after missing some time with injury. She's the one with the puck now, near side circle. Skating through 4 defenders, and eventually losing it to the far side. She had the blue line open, didn't take it though, as that one is siphoned through the Beacons defense through neutral ice. Chasing that one down and getting harassed from behind by Pulaski is Adamy. She gets there first though, hands it off. Ariel Gallucci tries to saucer that one forward to Harris, couldn't get it to her. Second chance is true for Emily as she breaks out to neutral ice with Kozik. 2-on-2 for UMass Boston. Harris with Kozik, got it poked away. Good effort defensively there. Has poken it away from her, it was Duff. From behind the net, poked towards the near sideboards, into the corner, now taken in by Leffler. Katie, backhanded feed, looking for Kozik. Instead it finds the end boards. Katie eventually finds it, sends it back to the point. Blast from Gallucci, not much on it, easily blocked down and moved out by Kennedy. And eventually into the attacking zone, it'll be dumped by Pulaski for fresh legs. 5 new skaters for the Rams. 5:40 to go here in the first period. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Scooters. 2-on-1 for the Beacons. Leffler with Kozik. Kozik to Leffler in front. What a save made as getting over to make it is Kristen Caparuso. And the sophomore denies UMass Boston's Katie Kozik.
A really nice save. A collision there on the wall.
That one sent near side. As that collision led to new calls, the referees haven't let them play today through the first 15 minutes of this one.
That was a great save by Caparuso, though, using the pad. That puck shot low, right where she came from, was able to kick that pad right back out, and a good save. It looked like it had a chance of going in, John.
Caparuso out of Stouffville, Ontario. Offsides are the Rams. That was a long delayed offsides, never noticing with Sydney Teets. It's a very young Rams team. The most senior member, the senior, Tess Adams out of Calgary, Alberta. Other than Adams, not a single senior on this roster. So only one senior, one junior, the rest underclassmen. This is a team that in a couple of years could be pretty dangerous. Yeah,
and you know what? So far today, they really don't show it. It looks more, if you kept the classes or the years off the score sheet, I'd think this is mostly juniors and seniors. Very good in their approach. They clearly know their system. They understand it well. You see by the way they possess this puck, the way they break out, a team that is coached well, it seems.
Taylor Waislick, their coach, I should say, a graduate of Boston College, BC's women's team, obviously one of the top programs in the country. Graduated back in 2014. She then was a Beacons assistant coach in her first year post-graduation. Now the head skipper here in Suffolk. See what she can do to develop this squad. Likewise, in her first season, the interim coach replacing Lindsey Berman, Dom Losey, out of Bowdoin, and she has been a sound presence on the Beacons bench as well. From the far side, Pulaski shot that one up in the air off a deflection. Gloved down by Drill. Trying to settle that was Kennedy, and now it comes right back to Kennedy from Volpe. Her shot from the far side circle blocked down. And eventually it's going to make its way out to neutral ice. Good clearance there for UMass Boston.
And a nice block there. Colucci, as you said, getting in that shooting lane. Was able to block that puck. That was a nice angle there. Seemed like had a chance of getting towards the net, but a nice block there from 2-4.
From neutral ice, sent into the Beacon zone. Adamy finds parent. Far side, Ariel Gallucci. Gallucci to Sarah King. Couldn't settle it down. She'll backhand it forward. Beacons from neutral ice. See Erica Lund lose it. Taken away from her by Dacus, and then it eventually makes its way in on net and covered up by Caparuso with 3:15 to go.
Again, a very important face-off here for these Beacons. They have not had much offense whatsoever since the goal, and really just in the game general. I mean, they've been able to capitalize. Still 3:15 here in the period. You know, they had a couple good shifts out of the gate. They were able to capitalize and bury one, but for the majority of the period, this has been all the Suffolk Rams so far. Beacons could really use a couple shifts in the offensive zone, give their D and their goaltender a break.
Edie Moritz, good two-way forward, trying to do just that, as Matt said, keep it in the attacking zone. And she had it for the moment, now keeping it in is Adamy, but she lost possession. And now coming back the other way with it is Stephanie Moy. Moy backhanded far side, looking to connect with Cote, missed the spot, pass a little bit behind the freshman from Colorado. As that one is sent off the boards and out of harm's way into neutral ice. Peacock backhanded it towards Moritz, kept away from her, and eventually comes near side for Cote. Sends it towards Tess Adams, cut off by Harris. Gallucci pokes it near sideboard, still in the Beacon zone, no offsides. Johnston, the only forechecker right now, as the Rams go for a line change, doing a good job, though, as both blue liners have to pinch in, and eventually it is sent out to neutral ice by Ariel. From the red line, losing an edge there all by her own, was Izzy Hendry, was still able to get it into the attacking zone. Pinching down is Teets, as that one is sent right towards the net by Teets, and a good save as getting down and pinching the post was to Pippo.
And you can see here Suffolk just challenging UMass Boston in every way, shape, and form. Even on the clears, they really attack the puck carrier with at least one, if not two, forwards. And you see here, Beacon's really just trying to hang on. They need to get out of this period and kind of hit the reset button here.
Less than 100 seconds to go in the first, as moving forward is Jesse Kennedy, 1-on-5, as the Rams get fresh legs out there. From the corner, poked away from her by Saxer, as it's sent in from the red line by Schultz, chased down by Drill. 80 seconds left, first period action, still 1-0 on Harris's goal, just a minute and a half in. Since then, though, it has been all Suffolk, and the Beacons have had solid goaltending from DePippo and a little help from the post on an opportunity where I think for all intents and purposes it should be 1-1, and that is going to be our first penalty, as that was a clear checking call on Haley Pulaski, a freshman from Matawan, Michigan, as she took down a Beacon. I believe it was Beauregard who was sent to her Tookus, and with 64 seconds left, first power play for UMass Boston.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, as you said, clearly a check in the neutral zone. That's a penalty with the women's rules, and the Beacons now granted a gift, a minute 40 here in this period. So this penalty, unless they score, will carry over to the second. But it's always challenging to start a period on the power play. It's not often you find success doing that. So really, this is a crucial minute here for the Beacons, as this puck is going to come out of the zone. Not quite sure what Colucci was doing there, but imperative that they at least get a couple shots on goal here.
Beacons trying to keep it in. Nice pinch by Morissette. The quarterback on the power play kept it in, but then it's poked away, and she slams the stick to the ice in frustration. Tess Adams on the penalty kill will be the first one to get there. Beacons on the power play this year, 30%. Outstanding numbers for UMass Boston. Probably only dwarfed by their penalty kill. It's at 96%. 33 seconds to go. 90 seconds on the power play as Leffler's into the attacking zone. She's got Harris in front of the net. And Moritz to the near side circle. Morissette and Colucci at the point. As Colucci falls down, Jane kept it in, but it's going to be sent out. And a break for the Beacons as tumbling down like a tree in the forest at the red line is Cote, and she would have had a breakaway. But nonetheless, a very uninspirational start to the power play with just 10 seconds to go. The Beacons unlikely to get a shot on it as it is sent into the bench for Suffolk with 5.7 left in the first period. Boy,
oh boy. If I'm the UMass coaching staff, we've got to have some strong discussions with the team here. And I don't want to harp on it, but I don't like what I see. I know they have a 1-0 lead, but there is just no one seems to be on the same page here. Is wind down the period here, shot blocked. But John, boy, if I'm the coaching staff, it just seems like nothing. We don't really have anything going here. I mean, we've played well defensively, and our goaltender has kept it in it. We've got a couple bounces that have gone our way. Other than that, the passing does not look good. Forwards don't seem to be on the same page with the D. The breakout is very easy to break. It's the same thing every time. They're just going off the far side wall to the wing and then trying to get it into a spot for the center to come over. You see Morissette talking there with Carlos. There needs to be some changes here in this period. Now, the fortunate part is you've got the lead. You've maintained enough in that period to keep the lead. But, boy, I just don't like what I see here from the girls in pink today, usually blue, wearing the pink jerseys today. But definitely a coaching staff that has to find a way to get more spark under this team. Just not enough there in that first period.
Yeah, absolutely. The Beacons, since that goal, have been dominated by Suffolk. There's no denying that. Now, they still 56 seconds on a power play. That will continue into the second period. Let's look at the positives from that first period. That third line of Harris, Leffler, and Kozik got the goal.
Yeah.
As Harris gets her third of the year and moves to 6 points. Leffler now has 7 points to lead the team. 6 points as well for Kozik. Beacon's third line outstanding, not only on that goal, but they had a couple of opportunities, including a 2-on-1 break that was denied by Caparuso late in that period.
Yeah, without a question, they've been the strongest line, and you know, hockey's a screwy game. You know, you can do everything right. You see it at every level. You have teams that do everything right, yet still find themselves down. I think if you're Suffolk, you've got to go in. There's going to be some frustration going into that period, but boy, we look good. I mean, the thing I like most about Suffolk, you see in all four zones, they're moving as a unit. There's no gaps, and I think that the way this team is passing, not necessarily the fastest team, but boy, when you move as a unit like that, and you see, and we don't have it on screen here, but you see Coach Losey and Coach Carlos, it looks like pulled some of the defense or some of these players aside, and I think the coaching staff is picking up on some of the same stuff we're talking about here, John. Just not a very good start to this game, and but as we said, Suffolk really looked strong in that period, and I think overall has to be pretty pleased with the way they played, even though they're down 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the defense that she's talking to. Adamy, Drill, and Sachs are the ones right up front with her. All of those players, some of the younger players on the blue line that the Beacons have.
Yeah, and I think you notice it's a pattern. It's the same thing every time in the breakout. The D go D to D. They come out of the far side, the bench side. They hit the wing with a pass. If it's on the tape, a lot of these times it's not on the tape. It's bouncing off the ice. It's bouncing off the glass, the boards. But if it's on the tape, the wingers are just there's not enough. There's no option there. And because Suffolk's reading it every time, so they pressure that winger. All the wing can do there is put it off the boards one more time and hope that their center can get to that area first. And it's creating a lot of pressure. That's not a high percentage play. And so Suffolk's reading that play well, causing that turnover and then coming right back into the zone. You're putting way too much pressure on yourselves. I think if you're the Coach Carlish or Coach Losey, got to find a way in this breakout. Let's change it up a little bit. Like, even try the other side. I mean, it's just too predictable here for the Suffolk Rams.
And that's been something that's plagued the Beacons for a while now, the breakout from their own zone. It's been an issue for them. They're crisp passing not only from behind the net, but from the circles and from the dots. I mean, it's been an issue that has plagued them, and when they lose games in this conference, it's because they're not making smart passes.
Too much time defending, and one thing leads to another. You know, a lot of teams can get away with that if you've got really fast forwards. A lot of times you'll see the G's maybe just put it off the glass, put it into an area, and it's really just a race for a loose puck. But when you're playing a team that clearly Suffolk knows their systems well, scouting reports out on this Beacons team, if we pressure that wing that they're going to every time, they're not going to have an option, and that wing just has to dump. They either dump it into the wing or they can dump it up to the center, but either way, it's not a high percentage play, and I think that's what you're seeing here from the coaching staff is we've got to find a different way to break out of our own zone. We're creating more work for ourselves than what's necessary.
On the plus side, despite all the negativity coming from the booth here, Beacons are winning 1-0.
Yes, that is true.
As they lead it on the goal from Emily Harris on even strength of .214, her third of the year, assists from Kozik and Leffler. We're going to go to a break here, take a look at highlights of last week's 4-1 victory over New England College, which got the Beacons on their winning ways in the NEHC. Since then, they've won another NEHC battle, putting them 2-1 in the 2-3 in the conference, but having won 2 of their last 3 and in a position to bounce back into the top 4. Let's take a look at highlights of that victory from last week right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
To the corner, it trickles into the far side boards. Harris, back in, good feed, Leffler. Leffler back in the quick, and they
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudris with Matt Meisenbach. Let's take a look at the first period statistics as UMass Boston leads it 1-0. As you see on your screen, Beacons outshot 10-6 in the period as Lista Pippo made all 10 saves that she had to. Meanwhile, the Beacons now currently 0-for-1 on the power play, but still 56 seconds left in that man advantage, and UMass Boston winning 11 of 18 faceoffs. as the UMass Boston Beacons cling to that 1-0 lead despite struggles, as we talked about, in their own zone. Let's take a look around Beaconville. Men's basketball taking on St. Joseph's College in a little bit. Women's basketball is taking on Kaika College at 3 p.m. Men's hockey tonight at Suffolk at 7 p.m. as that is going to be a big one for the men's hockey team, who got another win yesterday, Matt. And as we just, during intermission, have a chance to take a look at the men. What a start to the campaign for them. They are just rip-roaring right through the league, still unstoppable, undefeated, and we'll see what that can lend itself to in the future. But they continued their winning ways yesterday, and the sky's the limit for the men as they take on Suffolk tonight. Yeah,
they look really good. That win against Norwich at home is huge for this team to really prove. It's one thing to win hockey games against teams you should beat, but when you beat a team like Norwich, who is traditionally a powerhouse, and you beat them fairly handedly, it really provides that extra confidence that this is for real and this isn't just smoke and mirrors. So a team that right now has all engines going, and we'll see what they can do tonight on the road against Suffolk.
Next week on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, it'll be a weekend of women's hockey. On Saturday, we'll be bringing you the battle against Wesleyan University, and then on Sunday, a rare Sunday battle for the women's hockey team, as they will be taking on their competition twice next week. The men's hockey team then in 2 weeks taking on Hobart.
Yep.
You and Seth will have that call, and that is going to be a huge one for the Beacons men's team. They took down Norwich. Hobart right up there with the Cadets, one of those teams that expected to be at the top of the NEHC come the end of the year. That's going to be another critical test at home.
Yeah, that's another one. And again, as you mentioned, at home, Hobart was preseason ranked ahead of Norwich, so even a tougher task. But they took care of business at home against Norwich. They're going to look to do the same against a really talented Hobart team.
The UMass Boston Beacons men's and women's hockey teams continuing their strong starts here in 2018-19 as we move closer to Thanksgiving, now less than 1 week away. Well, it is, of course, Pink the Rink Day, as the Beacons women's bringing awareness to breast cancer, of course, and women's health, as, of course, it is a critical aspect of our life today. Let's take a look at highlights of last year's Pink the Rink game, in which the Beacons overcame a 3-0 deficit to win 6-3 over the Castleton Spartans. That's up next, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudris and Matt Meisenbacher just a couple of minutes away from the opening face-off of the second period. Let's take a look around the New England Hockey Conference. Just one game in action right now. Southern Maine's leads Salem State 2-0 in the third period. Southern Maine off to a strong start this year. They've tailed off a little bit over their last couple of games. Started out 2-0 in the conference. They've lost 2 in a row. Looking to bounce back against a Salem team that is 2-3 in the conference. So with Salem probably losing, and the Beacons, if they can win over Suffolk, Beacons would move into 5th place and continue to move up after a slow start in the season as we look ahead to see what's coming up for the Beaks. As I mentioned, next week it's going to be a battle against Wesleyan on Saturday, and then a battle on Sunday against either Manhattanville or Bowdoin. We'll have that call on Saturday and Sunday. Then the Beacons back on the road the following Friday at Southern Maine, and then at Salve Regina, as that is going to be an outstanding battle. Codfish Bowl already next week on Sunday, as the Beacons will look to be triumphant in their 12th annual. They have only won it once, and that was back in 2014. And Matt, with just 90 seconds or so to go until the opening face-off of the second period, it's funny, you look at the schedules for both of these teams, and you'd say, well, the Beacons were able to beat Salem State 7-1, and Suffolk lost their only conference game in Salem State, so the Beacons should beat Suffolk. Well, the Beacons lost to Johnson and Wales last week, and Suffolk's only 2 wins in the conference are against Johnson and Wales. So any given day, I guess anybody can win, and these two teams have shown that they're both pretty solid hockey teams coming into that.
Yeah, the parity within the conference. These girls, I think that also, the hockey world is pretty small, so a lot of these girls do know each other coming up through the ranks, playing some youth hockey together, and, you can see today just a game where really kind of a toss-up on paper, and so far one team has outplayed the other, yet the other team has the lead. So we'll see what we get here in the second period. I'll be curious to see what changes have been made on both sides, if any. But curious, especially the period with the long change now that they switch ends, if they can get a little bit, the Beacons at least, get a little bit better in terms of their passing specifically. And as both teams getting ready here to open up the draw, looks like Coach Harris electing to go with that second line or third line rather, as we talked about, of Harris, Leffler, and Kozik.
That they are. The opposition, Suffolk Rams, sending out the top line of Cote, Dacus, and Adams. Beacons win the opening face-off of the second period. Poked into the corner by Brie Colucci. Sits up on the stanchion for a moment before it settles down to Leffler's stick. Leffler on the power play here. Sends it far side. Quick blast from the dot is denied by the netminder Caparuso. From the dot, there it is Morissette. Jane out there on the power play with just 32 seconds to go on it. Beacons getting their first shot on the power play today moments ago. Morissette near side. Colucci tried the pass far side for Leffler, but it was poke checked away from her by Schultz. Sending it right in front for Bree. It was pinching into the slot from Moritz. Unable to get it on net as it was blocked away and then dumped all the way down with 15 to go on the power play.
And I really don't mind those plays. Both opportunities there for the Beacons on these passing attempts were, if those passes get through, good scoring opportunities. So I don't mind those passes, despite not registering a shot on goal. Some good looks there for the Beacons.
Colucci takes a shot. That one lawful boarded away. 60 seconds into the first period. Power play is over. Out of the box trying to break down there was Pulaski, but the pass was off the mark, partially deflected all the way into the corner. Pulaski backhands it back towards the near side circle. The first man there is UMass Boston's Edie Moritz. Moritz stretches it forward for Nolan. Julia catches up to Duff. Duff sends it far side out of the grasp of Moy. Beacons tried to keep it in. They could not. And we'll get a whistle with 18:41 to go here in period number 2.
Got to be careful. They might have get called for too many players on the ice. I think they might have.
Looks like it. Beacons getting the call after the power play ended. They tried to go for a line change and was unable to do so, and at least not legally. And Janessa Hernandez will serve the bench minor. So now the Beacons with that 96% penalty kill with an opportunity to prove it. Suffolk, meanwhile, on the power play so far this campaign, just 15%, 6 for 39.
Yeah, golden opportunity as Suffolk there killing off the remainder of that Beacons power play to start the period now with a power play of their own.
Adams won the face-off. Gets it back to the point for Madison Duff. Back to Tess Adams. Adams backhanding it behind the net. Poked away from Kennedy. Near sideboards, Johnson gets there, backhanded towards the slot where Kennedy was waiting, but it was poked away from her, and the Beacons get it out of harm's way as Beauregard chases it down. Duff trying to beat her to the puck does, backhands it Off the near side boards for Johnston. Erica Lund taking a couple of whacks at her. Johnston moves it forward, connecting there with Cote. Cote's got Adams and Kennedy in front. Kept away smartly by Adamy, and eventually it's cleared here by Gallucci. So a good start here. 45 seconds down on the power play.
And you can see on this penalty kill, fairly simple. They pressure the puck carrier. The Beacons do not make it easy on the breakout, and then really try, once that puck is loose, really try to attack wherever it is, whether it be the right or left side. You see there, just attack the wall, create a turnover, and send that right back down. And might not seem like much, but if you add it up, it really buys yourself, 10, 20, 30 seconds where you're not defending, and it's been really effective to start this year.
There's a takeaway, setting up Morissette. Good play there as the Beacons saw Edie Moritz find Jane Morissette after she took it away, but Jane unable to maintain possession to get a scoring chance shorthanded. Here's Dacus leading the rush here with the power play as that one's grasped out of the air on a high-rising shot by DePippo.
Clearly a confident play from DePippo, and you can see it's fairly easy to tell when goaltenders are struggling a little bit and when they're playing with some confidence. And you see there, that's a tricky little save there. You got a player coming in with speed. As a goaltender, you try to get a good read on that, and DePippo making it look really easy, just snatching it right out of the air. And you see they're causing a face-off, which now goes down all the way down the other end. I really like the way DePippo has played, not just in this game, but to start the year.
You got to feel good for Alyssa, who, of course, spent the better part of the first 3 years in Beacons Blue on the bench as that backhander by Duff's knocked down by Gallucci. Duff tried to use her strength against the end board, send it in front. Eventually she does. There's a quick shot from the bad angle there, denied by DePippo on the blast from Johnston, and then sent all the way out to neutral ice. As the Pittsburgh native Alyssa DePippo finally getting her opportunity to be the Beacons starter, and she has been solid this year.
5 aside now for these Beacons. Let's see, did they make any adjustments to this breakout in between periods?
That's another successful penalty kill for UMass Boston, as they are now just unbelievable in that category, as they came in 96%. Beauregard on the near side says it in front as she was looking to connect there with the outstretched grasp of Harris, looking for her second of the day. Beauregard off the power play ending is out there with Leffler and Harris, as that line missing Kozik, but Beauregard provides a little bit more oomph on her shot. And now Kaylee Wills headed to the bench to be replaced by Kaylee Kozik. Taken away behind the net, trying to siphon it forward. Natasha Savage fighting for the puck with her was Harris. She backhands it far side, and it is moved forward now and kept out of harm's way for the Beacons. Taken away. Tough angle shot, and good poise pinching the post there to deny a shot attempt by UMass Boston's Emily Harris. Leffler sends it back behind the net, chased down there by Savage, and then over skating it and unable to keep it in the zone was Drill.
Third line has been the best line for these Beacons by far. You saw another great shift there, particularly from Harris, who really seems to have an extra spark today as this plays off sides. But, they have been the only forward line that has produced much of anything in terms of consistency, and really looked good. I wouldn't be surprised if their minutes go up throughout the day.
Pretty amazing, the Beacons' penalty kill. It always amazes me in hockey when a team that has a great penalty kill but struggles 5-on-5. I don't say the Beacons would struggle too precipitously to 5-on-5, but at least today they've struggled to just get it out of their own zone 5-on-5. But when you're on the penalty kill, they kept that thing out of the zone almost the entirety of the 2 minutes.
Yeah, you simplify things on the penalty kill. You're not trying to do too much, and you can see there. It's funny. You make comparisons. The Arizona Coyotes in the NHL, a team that has struggled to score some goals, but all of a sudden they're shorthanded. It seems like they score every time they're shorthanded. It's a little bit of a conundrum, but you do see it at multiple levels.
Hockey is a funny sport. The way the puck bounces, some kind can determine your destination, as Janessa Hernandez got the outstretched feed, but unable to motor into the attacking zone. Excuse me, that was Falieras. 9, not 19, as the Beacons trying to turn it into offense. Backhanded by Jane Andrill into the far side boards. Falieras watching Morissette. His nice stick lift. Jane's tried to set it up in front for Beauregard. Didn't make its way through. Good stick check there, keeping it away by Scheinberg.
Yeah, that pass gets through, and it's a scoring opportunity for the Beacons. You saw Morissette corral that puck. She was missed on the pass across from Drill. She had an opportunity to get that to Morissette, but pass didn't get through, and then Morissette corrals it in the corner, was able to try to get that to the center, just wasn't able to connect on the pass, and Suffolk icing the puck down the other end. A couple good shifts here for the Beacons.
Face-off won by UMass Boston, fourth line out there. King, Nolan, and Hernandez. As that is Nolan. Julia tried to tuck it short side off the backhand. Didn't get its way through the goal stick of Caparuso. Near side, Izzy Hendry lifts that one up over King. Out into neutral ice by way of Adams. And Cote eventually gains possession at the blue line with Nolan bearing down on her. He just sends it out to the red line. Overskated, but Cote did the same. Eventually it's poked all the way in by Dacus. Into the attacking zone go the Rams. They lose possession. Trip there, no call, as it looked like Dacus got her stick caught up in the skates of King. As the Beacons gain possession, trying to center it was Colucci. Instead it's taken away for a chance, but unable to get anything on it as Nolan came right back to keep it away from Volpe. As Julia had a chance from the slot, but Beacon's doing a good job pinching in on her immediately as this one's dumped all the way in on net. And electing to cover it with Nolan bearing down is Caparuso with 13:28 to go.
Yeah, nice play by Nolan. That puck probably should have been played by the goaltender, Caparuso, but with Nolan bearing down, took the safe play and was able to corral it. And if Nolan doesn't come in with full speed there, you don't get that faceoff. So a subtle play there from Nolan. I really like that. I hope the coaches picked up on it.
Beacons can't keep it in off the face-off win from Suffolk. Lund sends it back into the Beacon zone where Colucci backhands it back to Erica. Erica, cross-ice feed for Moritz. Edie tangled up a little bit with Kennedy. Beacons trying to use it to their advantage. They do. Into the attacking zone. Peacock in front. Into the slot for Moritz. Got tied up. Lost her stick. Duff, good defensive effort, preventing any shot. This one dumped all the way in. This will be icing, they will say, on Suffolk with 12:59 to go.
Well, for the first time today, the Beacons have really been able to start stacking their lines a little bit. It started with a great shift from that third line. It was followed up by another good shift from the top line. And now we're almost a full rotation now, being that the Harris line is back out there. So you've went through the entire all four lines, and you really got some momentum in this game. Now you've got to start finding some scoring opportunities. They're doing a much better job possessing the puck. Now it's time to get some scoring opportunities off of it.
Trying to set one up there as a shot from a tough angle is sticked away. Good effort, though, by Katie Leffler, who continues to play well, centering that third line. Kozik overskated the puck against the board. That's been plaguing the Beacons today. Fighting for it, and eventually taking it away is Stephanie Moy, the freshman defender from British Columbia. She siphons it around all the way to the near side at the line for Fisher to keep in. Leffler, backhanded down low. Right back to Leffler. Great give and go. What a shot and a save made by Caparuso, getting down to deny Katie Leffler.
That's a great play there. Harris with a great pass in front, and what a stop by Caparuso. All alone in front. I didn't think it looked like there was some room on that short side, and was able to get that with the pad. Her best save of the day.
Absolutely. Great passing play on the give and go. Resemblance to Sidney Crosby's golden goal in the 2010 Winter Olympics. As coming back the other way, Leffler. Chance, she scores! If at first you don't succeed, try again. As Katie Leffler, after being denied by Caparuso moments ago, gets the goal on the backhand from the near side post. It's 2-0 UMass Boston.
Well, it's fairly obvious the sophomore out of Key Largo, Florida, has the hot hand right now. You saw she was denied just a matter of seconds ago, the pass in front, and then right after that, puck comes down. It's a great outlet pass there. We'll have to see. I think it was Colucci making that pass, putting it right on the tape for Leffler, and then Leffler, folks, I didn't know if you saw it, but instead of just shooting, all she had was her backhand. She took a little extra move and tried to get the goaltender. She took once more stick handle, tried to get the goaltender to move a little bit off that post, and sure enough, she did. And that left just enough room for Leffler to tuck that near side on the goal. Boy, she's got the hot hand right now, John, and Beacons with a 2-0 lead.
And both of those goals scored by that third line. That has been so integral to the Beacons' success as Leffler now leads the team with 4 goals, also leading the team with 8 points. As the sophomore from the Sunshine State has been all suns and roses so far this year for the Beacons, as Morissette and UMass Boston trying to continue the momentum. Couldn't keep it in as Jane Ann Drill got her stick lifted by Adams. Adams leading the team with 15 points, looking to get number 16. That one blocked down. Good play by Saxer, picking up Drill, who turned it over. And now from neutral ice, it is eventually taken in and wheeled back into her own zone by Izzy Hendry. From neutral territory at the red line, Drill takes it away. Tried to send it deep into the corner, but she got poke checked, and that allows Sydney Jordan to play it. Sydney got it poked away by King. Morissette somehow maintained possession, got around Jordan. Jane, though, loses possession, got tied up. Allows Sydney Jordan to get it. Siphon it over the stick of Sarah King. Tumbling down by her own volition is Hendry, and that'll allow UMass Boston to at least tie it up in the Rams defensive zone momentarily. Johnston backhands it deep. Emily Johnson standing 5'10" as a freshman. Looks like an absolute giant out there.
Yeah, 5'10". That's without skates, so she's well over 6 foot. And that's a tough play. Got clipped by the net there. Hopefully, you didn't see the number. Boy, that was scary there for a second. But yeah, you said it. Johnston clearly the tallest one on the ice today.
As it's backhanded out. Great one-touch feed in front for Moritz. Backhanded, a good save by Caparuso. But a nice pass by the 19 skater, Caitlin Parent, a senior from Myersville. One touch right in front for Moritz, gaining a little chemistry between the seniors. Parent from Maryland and Moritz from Connecticut.
Well, much better here in the second period for the Beacons, without question. I mean, clearly the passing was not where they needed it to be in the first period. Now here in the second, they're connecting on some of these chances, and it's directly leading to some of these scoring opportunities. It's been a clear difference in the way this team has handled the puck here.
And then a turnover. Peacock trying to break through the defenders, unable to do so. Duff goes down, and the referee is going to call Rachel Peacock for it, as she will head to the sin bin for 2 minutes.
And she knew it too. You know, you're going, and that's one of those plays, you're going for a loose puck there, and when you lower the shoulder like Peacock did, I don't think she fully intended to hit or to check there, but when you're kind of turning and both players are on their edge fully like that, it takes just the slightest touch or the slightest nudge to kind of have somebody tilt over, and that's, I think, what happened to Peacock there. That's just one of those plays. Referee has to call it. Looks like a check. Really nothing you could do there for the Beacons. Unfortunately for them, with the penalty kill as strong as it is, as Moore set in on a little bit of a rush here.
Here she is. She's got Beauregard in front, but she tried to go around the defender, Jordan, but Sydney took it away. Jordan listed at 5'8", as the Rams wanted a penalty on Morissette. Won't get it. Jordan up into the attacking zone. Yeah, she tripped up Stephanie Moy right in front of the official.
She's fortunate. That was about as borderline as it gets. Anything more than that, and you're probably going.
Break for the Beacons. Despite their penalty kill success, you don't want to go 5-on-3 with a 2-goal lead as Adams breaks towards the net. Moy tried to shoot it towards her, unable to do so. Behind the net for Adams. Adams uses the near side boards. Nice pass. A Savage's shot is wide of the net, deflected off a stick. And the Beacons are able to clear it all the way down with 1:07 to go on the power play. We are through halfway in this game. 8:50 to go, second period action. 2-0 UMass Boston on goals by Emily Harris and Katie Leffler, both on that third line.
And there you see it again. You know, these forwards are so critical to the success of this penalty kill, John. You see there, and they keep the shift short. But, you know, these two forwards really go aggressive, and it causes havoc on the breakout for some of these teams that they play. Today, Suffolk, as this puck should be cleared all the way down. It gets intercepted a little bit there, but really impressed with how aggressive these forwards are on the penalty kill, especially during the breakout.
Good save there by DePippo, but she let a rebound go loose, and Shayna Cote tucks it home. It's 2-1 as Suffolk rams their way back into it. For Cote, a freshman from Broomfield, Colorado, her 10th career point and 7th career goal.
Yeah, a shot from a little bit of distance there. It was to the far side. DePippo tried to put that puck into the corner, and it instead was deflected. It looked like off of two players, one Beacon and one Ram, and the puck was just laying there. And like you said, DePippo, with not enough time to recover, puck was laying right in the crease, was able to jam it home to make this a 2-1 game.
So the Rams on the power play. A rare power play goal given up by UMass Boston this year. They had already killed off a power play in this period. Now they're 1 for 2, as this one's covered up by Caparuso. And this period, really this game, in the first period, the Beacons had the 1-0 lead, although they were dominated through the first 20 by the Rams. Here in the second, the Beacons dominated for all intents and purposes, and it's 1-1 here in the second, 2-1 overall. Sometimes the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole tale.
Oh, without question. Without question. And you see that. Usually games come down to, you know, teams that are able to capitalize on their scoring opportunities. The team that does that more often is going to win, and you see that here today with both sides. Really back and forth in terms of possession time and momentum, but on the scoreboard, I know it's 2-1, but both these teams really limited in their scoring opportunities, yet have a good conversion rate.
Coach Lozzi sending back out that third line for this shift. Good job on it. They'll head to the bench. Replaced now by the top line, as it'll be Beauregard, Morissette, and Falieres. Coming back the other way with it, Jesse Kennedy. Kennedy pinched off by Fisher all the way into the corner. Fisher, though, unable to get in front of her. Kennedy sends it right in front. Great stick action there by our player to watch, Pre Colucci, as bearing down with a chance to score there was Cote looking to tie it. Shayna scored on the power play moments ago. Fighting for it in the corner. Eventually it emerges to Tess Adams for Cote, and a good save is pinching the post, and not budging was DePippo.
That's a big stop from DePippo. That's that behind the net play that both these teams have been running today, and DePippo was able to keep that pad sealed along the pad, or the short side there, along the post, and with a good stop there. That's a big save.
6:33 to go. Second period action, as this one's going to be sent up into the crowd, I think. Yep. Made its way up and over the ice, so a souvenir for a lucky fan. With 6:28 to go here in the second period. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Skudras. If you just joined us, Beacons got the early goal by Emily Harris on assist from Kozik and Leffler. Made it 1-0 after one. And after that goal in the first period, it was all Rams with Alyssa DePippo making all 10 stops that she had to face. In the second period, a goal from Leffler, unassisted, I believe, got the Beacons up 2-0. And since then, a power play goal by Shayna Cote for the Rams has us at 2-1 as the Beacons will reset with a face-off in their own zone.
A little bit of back and forth. This game has been close. And both sides, really like a seesaw. Momentum just shifting pretty quickly in this game. Both teams able to stock their shifts pretty well. Looks like Suffolk's going to be able to keep this in here.
Johnson's shot deflected wide. Behind the net, fighting for it, Sydney Teets, a freshman from Minnesota. Sent far side by Izzy DiBattista. And then that shot wide of the net taken in by Drill. Jane fires it off the corner boards. Trickles out of the zone and all the way down. Peacock chasing after it. She won't get there ahead of Duff. Duff drops it back as Lunn was there to watch Moy send it by her. Now Erica, backhand feed behind the net for Peacock. Right back out to Drill. Drill takes the shot in front. Good save. Rebound is loose, but Lund couldn't settle it down as it trickles behind the net and cleared out to neutral ice.
That's a nice play by the Beacons there to find Drill. She was unattended in the slot, and I thought they were going to miss her. They got it to her just slightly late, but she was still able to get a shot through. And a good save there by Caparuso.
Caparusso's had to be strong today, especially here in the second. Almost another too many men on the ice penalty. Just getting off in time was Lund. As this shot right in front, a chance just wide of the net by Parent as she continues to play well today. Caitlin Parent had a great opportunity on an assist opportunity earlier on a pass to Moritz, and a chance to score there as Drill's bouncing puck. That was a bit of a tough bounce. A short hop for Caparuso makes the denial.
Yeah, that's Drill's best shift of the day without a doubt. Shot on goal and then a great read there along the wall. You see her getting a congratulations from the coaching staff. That's just a nice play to read that all on the blue line, hold it, and then didn't really have much of an option as the team was looking like that puck was going to come out, so they were already out of the zone. She just fires it on net and gives her chance an opportunity with an in-zone draw.
5 minutes to go, second period action, 2-1 UMass Boston. So the Beacons trying to get back to 500 here in NEHC action. Meanwhile, the Rams trying to avoid falling to 500. They come in at 2-1, the Beacons at 2-3. Backhand feed, finding Morissette. Jane tried to use the sideboards. Beauregard, though, uses her speed to neutralize icing. What a rush there from Beauregard as she got out in front of Izzy Hendry.
I'm not sure Morissette meant to send Beauregard there for the races, but however, the play worked. And the Beacons are going to get a little bit of a penalty here. It was borderline. Let's see. It's going to be a check.
Yeah.
And is it Beauregard or Morissette who's going to go, John?
Beauregard.
Yeah.
She came up and hit Volpe. Both were going after the puck. It was a loose puck. It's a tough call. In men's hockey, that would have been clean and green.
Yeah, without question. Without question. And like you said, both two players going for the puck there. I think Beauregard with a little bit more speed made it seem a little bit worse than it was. She'll sit for two. Great opportunity here late in the second period for this Rams squad. Down one, and a little bit of a gift of a power play here. They've already scored once today.
So after they score on the Peacock tripping call, now it's 2 minutes for checking to Beauregard, and the Rams will try to make it 2 for 3 on the power play, and by calculation, even the game. Back to the point. Moy shot that one just wide of the net as it trickles back out to the point for Cote, who scored the only goal of the day for the Rams. Down low, Kennedy. Near side, Adams backhanded, got it poked away by Adamy. Back out to the point where Duff will settle it down. Duff looking to go back to Kennedy, but it trickles through her wickets and is dumped all the way down by Casey Adamy.
Suffolk team really moves the puck well. And you saw on the power play there, pretty clear they're trying to work this puck low to high or behind the net.
Adams over the blue line on the power play, sends it right towards the mask of the Beacons netminder, Alyssa DePippo, and with 1:12 to go on the power play, we'll have a stoppage, 3:40 to go in the second.
And if you're the Beacons, you see the Rams trying to run those plays, that low to high play. So if you can take away the half wall, you force them to try and find their second or third option there. You just got to make sure that that coverage in the slot is there. We've seen a couple times, whereas this face-off right onto DePippo, we've seen a couple times there where they get out of sorts. And when that happens with a team that moves the puck this well like Suffolk does, really at a disadvantage.
Face-off, won by UMass Boston, cleared out. Good effort, as that was Jane Morissette sending it out to neutral ice. Whipped far side, settled down by Dacus. She connects, and moving forward with it is Stephanie Moy, the blue liner here on the power play with 53 seconds left. Gets it back to Dacus. Dacus back to Moy. Also out there, Sydney Jordan, as Moy's shot is just wide of the net. DePippo didn't see it through the screen. That's a break for the Beacons. Back to the point, Savage. Savage, D to deep, Jordan. Jordan lost an edge mid-shot, and then because of that, didn't get much on. It was blocked down by Ariel Gallucci.
Yeah, Beacons are fortunate there. I think Morissette might have got a stick in on that shooting attempt. Otherwise, they caught him along the wall. They were out of position.
Pulaski trying to go back to the point. Savage right in front. Moy tried to whack it out of thin air, unable to do so. 20 seconds left on the power play. Beacons clear, as there's Katie Leffler, who else, all the way down to deflect it deeper into the zone. Behind her own net, Natasha Savage, a Warwick, Rhode Island native. Oddly enough, was in the crowd during the national anthem. Now back on the ice.
Yeah, we saw that. I think it was a skate issue, but it was kind of funny. Fully dressed, just with sneakers instead of skates. She was holding her skates, so I think a little bit of a skate issue, but interesting that she was somewhat lined up with her teammates just on the other side of the glass.
Something you don't see every day, but she's back out there when it matters, as that's icing with the power play over on the Rams. So the Beacons now 2 for 3 killing off power plays today, continuing to have a strong season in that category. They'll try to build offense out of it with Moritz and Lunn out there along with Peacock. And on the blue line, it is Fisher and Colucci. Face-off, however, won by the Rams, but immediately turned over to UMass Boston's Erica Lunn. Lunn, backhander, back to Moritz. Moritz from the end line, unable to get it around the poke check of Madison Duff. But we'll get a penalty coming up here now on the Rams. It's going to be cross-checking, and the Beacons will head to the power play for the second time today.
No, we just talked about her. Savage will go on the cross-check, and you saw Peacock in front there. Not really sure. I'm not really sure what Savage was trying to do there. The puck was on the wall. It looked like the Rams were going to get that out of the zone anyway, so not really sure why she felt the need to get physical there in the front with Peacock, but nevertheless, a power play here for the Beacons with 2:02 left to go in the period. Should be with the man advantage for the remainder of the time.
Yes, Natasha just wanted to be a Savage on that one.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Trying to turn it into offense, but offsides, they'll say, as that one was rocketed wide by Colucci, but unable to keep it in. Prior to that was Jane Morissette.
Alyssa especially like that one, John.
You got to come up with one-liner a game, you know? Back when Alyssa was man in the box in women's soccer, I always had a few good ones.
I'm sure he did.
As that is sent back to neutral ice. Bree Colucci sending it far side. Taken in and dumped by UMass Boston's Edie Moritz. Behind the net it comes. Harris watching as Schultz sends it far side. Kept in the zone. Now to the point, Morissette looking for some help down low. It's Leffler's shot. Good save. Caparuso with a couple of players in front. Harris right there on the far side post. As making the denial, Caparuso on a shot from Edie Moritz.
And Leffler really playing with some confidence there. Usually a player in that slot just grabs it and fires it. And she looked for Colucci. Colucci a lefty there. That pass is going through. Colucci a righty creates a little bit of a different angle. I don't think Leffler felt like she could get it into a spot where Colucci would be able to fire it. And Leffler firing it towards the net on her own. But really like the way Leffler's playing right now.
She's playing outstanding. Falieris missed just wide, looking for a deflection in front on the last shot. 1:10 to go on the power play, 1:11 on the period, so the Beacons really will have the power play for the rest of the period, barring a goal, as Colucci sends it far side. One-time blast from Beauregard. She knows what to do with it, but misses wide. Falieris, who had a hat trick yesterday, sends it in front as she got the feed, but was unable to get wood on it, and that was coming from Peacock. So many scorers on these Beacons power plays. See if they can continue to succeed in doing so. Far side now, near side to Palieris, but that one is denied. by the netminder Caparuso with 40 seconds left on the man advantage.
And the Beacon's going to get a change here with 40 seconds. So, the one area we talk about a lot with this Beacon's power play is the fact that the heavy shot Beauregard, how if I'm the coaching staff, you got to make an effort to find her. The way she shoots the puck is such a weapon as the Beacons win this faceoff, but it's such a weapon for this team. I'm a little bit surprised they don't have a couple plays where they purposely try to find her for that one-timer. They try to create some space. You see a lot of teams doing that, and I'm surprised the Beacons don't do it more often.
Morissette shot deflected in front by Harris wide. 22 to go on the power play, 23 in the period. Backhanded by Leffler, back to Harris. Try to go far side. Morissette did a good job poking it all the way in as there's a shot deflected in front and then denied by Caparuso as that one was fluttering like a knuckle puck. Great effort from Jane Morissette to keep it in, and the Beacons still have it in the zone with 6 seconds left. Here's Leffler. She's got to know there's only 5 left on the period. Tries to tuck it home. Good save by Caparuso as the power play expires with just 2 seconds left in the period. But the netminder Caparuso proving why she's the starter here for Suffolk in this, her sophomore campaign.
That's a huge save and a nice play by Leffler to get that towards the net with 2 seconds to go here. I'm a little bit surprised they're not taking the goaltender to Pippo to try and get something off this draw, but what a play. We should put with Morissette there, not just right wing, but also cornerback, as she read that play really nicely, read the quarterback's eyes there, and was able to knock that play down to even give her team a chance at a scoring opportunity there. A nice play by Seven, but weren't able to win that draw to get a secondary chance, and the Beacons will go in up 2-1 after 2 periods of play.
So the Beacons unable to score on the power play again, but nonetheless, UMass Boston leading 2-1. They took a 2-0 lead earlier in the period on a goal from Katie Leffler, which came just moments after she was unable to get a goal past a good save from Caparuso, who's been outstanding today. It's 2-1 now after the power play goal from the Rams. That second period, though, a lot better for UMass Boston. They looked a lot more sound.
Yeah, for a couple of guys who watch this team regularly, that's more of what we're used to for that team. The passing was just completely a complete 180 from what we saw in the first period. They had more energy, and I think the overall theme for that is they were getting pucks towards the net. I mean, that first period, really just the one shift, and then after that it was all Suffolk. Instead, that period, much better team. I think you've got to be more pleased with the effort there if you're a Beacon fan. And for the Suffolk team, we're able to score. That's a big goal they were able to get there in response. Beacons with a 2-0 lead there in the period, and Suffolk able to get that, make that a 2-1 game. That's a big difference. And so it's a 1-goal hockey game going into this third. It's up for grabs. Anybody can take this one.
Absolutely. Still plenty to be determined here from Beaconville today as UMass Boston leads it 2-1. Now, meanwhile, just 20 minutes to go in this one. UMass Boston obviously looking a lot more sound in that second period, but they took a couple of bad penalties. The bench minor for too many men on the ice was bad. The Peacock penalty, that's something that we've seen the Beacons, not only the women but the men as well, be victimized by a lot. Tough penalties this year. That's something you want to see cleared up, and I'm sure it's something that Coach Lozzi will be talking about.
Yeah, that'll be addressed, the bench minor. And that's, it's a good point, John. Not the first time we've seen that with this team, especially early on in the season. It seems like that's got to be their 4th or 5th bench minor for too many players on the ice so far this season. That's got to be cleared up. But I think so far they've done a fairly decent job both on the power play and on the penalty kill, obviously on the power play, generating some opportunities on the penalty kill, getting momentum. You kill those things off, and sometimes if you don't give up a goal on the penalty kill or if you don't score on the power play, as long as you kind of maintain that momentum, you can really still generate stuff off of it, and I think the Beacons have done a really good job of that here today.
At least they didn't get a penalty before they even stepped on the ice, like the Norwich Cadets men's team who got a bench minor for delay a game before the game even started against the men's hockey team. We've seen a lot of wild things this year. We saw that. We saw Savage on the bleachers during the national anthem today.
Goaltenders putting pucks in their own net and getting scored on from the red line. It's been kind of wacky here.
D3 hockey, it's no joke. It is no joke. Well, we are going to go to a break here right now. We're going to take a look behind the Beacon. Of course, this being Pink the Rink game, a celebration of Catherine Wall, who, of course, was so momentous in her days on Beaconville and continues to resonate in the hearts and minds of every Beacons athlete who steps foot, whether it be on a field, on a court, or on ice in Beaconville. Let's take a look behind the Beacon right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
the 12-year history of UMass Boston women's hockey, they had never seen a day like Saturday, January 31st. Less than 6 months after the passing of Hall of Famer Catherine Wall, the program brought together current players, alumni, and members of Catherine Wall's family for a unique event. Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the Beacon. I'm your host, Pepper Baker. In this episode, we will detail important events that happened during the Beacon Special Day as they honored their alumni and Catherine Wall.
We had several people working extremely hard for weeks looking up to this event, and all the work we put in, we never expected we'd get the turnout that we did that day. The 800 people that were here, we thought we'd get half. The alumni that committed to play, we thought we'd get a third of that. So it's just amazing to see all the work that we put in and what we got back. And it really shows what people think about this place and how special UMass Boston is to them.
UMB has always been a place where you feel like you have a second family. And this showed again through the love, thought, and time put into this event. I would like to start with a quick story about my first encounter with the infamous Catherine Wall. It was my freshman year, suiting up for a home game, and Coach walks in with a couple of kids with Timbs and Arlington High warm-ups on. As we all got dressed and watched the kids get the tour, I thought, I wonder if these kids would fit in here. Then Coach introduced us to the recruits, Catherine Wall, and I actually don't remember the other girl's name. And there are a few reasons for that. One being that Wall is obviously a great sports name, one that would mean half the athletic department wouldn't know Wall or Wally wasn't actually her first name. The other reason I cannot remember the other recruit is simply because Catherine Wall left a memorable impression on you, whether it was 5 minutes or 5 years spent together.
Catherine was very special. Sorry, I haven't really cried much. She was very special. She loved UMass Boston. It was her home. It was the best 4 years of her life, and she said that many times. It was because of people that she played with. It was because of administrators. It was because of coaches. And this will always be a special place to us, to the Wall family.
She was an incredible teammate, person, and many of my personal memories involve something Wally and I were doing together. I was lucky enough to be line mates with Wall for some of our careers, and that is so special to me. She always wanted to improve and do what was best for the team and for the UMB community. I can remember coming off a shift and chatting about what we could do better, and Wall saying, maybe if you could catch up to me, that would help. Where my speed lacked, Wall picked it up for me. That's the person she was, making light of situations, but always bringing people up around her, making them want to be a better player, teammate, and person. No one will ever be able to accomplish what Wall did at UMass and Arlington. Not that many people in this world are as talented at everything, all while being a genuinely incredible, selfless person.
I was very, very lucky to have known Catherine in many ways. The Walls lived right next door to me, back home in Arlington. As a kid, I watched Catherine out of my window, practicing the 3 sports she excelled in throughout her life: soccer, hockey, and softball. Her determination to improve in every aspect of those sports was remarkable. Catherine was not just my neighbor, she was a close friend, a coach, and an inspiration to not only me, but thousands of people. I would not be standing here speaking to all of you if it was not for her. And I'm so thankful I get to be a part of this family. The amount of people here shows the wide impact that Catherine made during her short but tremendous life.
Although we are heartbroken, we should be grateful that we were blessed to have had this incredible person in our lives. I could go on and on with stories that would make me laugh, cry, and probably even say, wow, how do we get in trouble and not hurt doing those silly things? I mean, who wears matching onesie pajamas and hides in the overhead compartments on the bus waiting to stare at their coaches? There was never a dull moment, and I know that Catherine's legacy will live on at UMass through the lives she has touched and the community she has helped to build. Thank you all for coming and sharing this day to celebrate the amazing life of our friend and teammate. And thank you for giving me this chance to talk briefly about my friend. Lastly, I would like to thank the Wall family. Thank you for sharing Catherine with us. You shaped her into a remarkable woman who will never be forgotten, and each of us is a better person for having known her. Thank you.
UMass Boston women's hockey raised over $3,500 in merchandise, raffle ticket sales, and the auctioning of custom jerseys. All proceeds will go to the Catherine Wall Foundation. Thank you for watching. I'm Pepper Baker.
Period here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Scudras. Let's take a look at the statistics through 2 periods of play. As you see on your screen, UMass out shooting Suffolk 22-17, 16-7 in that second period after being outshot by 4 in the first. Meanwhile, UMass Boston failing on 2 power plays today, 1 in the second, though, after getting no shots on their first power play. The Beacons were able to manage 6 shots on that second power play in that period. Meanwhile, both teams doing well from the face-off circle. The Beacons having won 23 of 43. Let's take a look now around the NEHC. Southern Maine completing a victory over Salem State. Tough weekend for the Vikings. They lose 7-1 at home yesterday and now 4-1 today as they get outscored 11-2 in a doubleheader sweep against conference opponents. Just getting underway from Norwich as the Cadets hosting Castleton. No score with 8:39 to go in the first period. Thank you, Alyssa. And New England College playing host to Johnson and Wales at 4 p.m. today. Let's take a look ahead at what's coming up here for UMass Boston's women's team. And next week, packed schedule as we'll have a battle against Wesleyan on Saturday in the first round of the Confish Bowl. And then on Sunday, they will take on either Manhattanville or Bowdoin in the championship or consolation round, depending on what happens on Saturday. Following week, the Beacons at Southern Maine and Salve Regina as they take to the road to end November and begin December. Let's look around Beaconville one more time. No updates right now for you. Just getting underway as men's basketball is playing host to the College of St. Joseph's. Women's basketball is playing host to Kaika College, and men's hockey playing tonight against Suffolk at 7 p.m. Man, as we take a look back at the second period, got the goal from Katie Leffler, her 4th of the year, leads the team now with 8 points. Meanwhile, Emily Harris getting 2 points today. The goal in the first period, her 4th assist in the second. She's now got 7 points. And Shayna Cote on the power play, her 7th goal of the year, an assist from Madison Duff. But the Beacons, obviously, as we said, playing better in that second period. What do they have to do in the third period now to hold on to a 1-goal lead and come away with a big victory? Well,
the third line that's playing like the first line today, they've got to keep firing. You look at the score sheet, and it's all them. Harris assisted by Kozik and Leffler, and then on the other goal, Leffler from Harris. So clearly that line is going to carry you offensively today. They've got to continue to fire, and I think the Pippo's shown that if she can see it, she's going to stop it. So they're going to need to make sure. The only goal today was a rebound they didn't clear. I think if you're from a defensive standpoint, you got to make sure our goaltender can see it and that we know our assignments in the defensive zone. Other than that, this should be a winnable game for the Beacons. Anytime you've got a lead going into the third period at home, you've got to find a way to win. You can't let these points slip away, especially for a Beacons team that's only 5-3 on the year, 2-1 in the conference.
Interestingly enough, our player to watch today, Bree Colucci, lining with Grace Fisher. That line out there for both of the goals, +2 today to lead the way, along with Leffler, Harris, and Kozik. So the Beacons getting the job done from the third forward line and the second defensive line as they continue to play well here in second periods after what has been a year of slow starts. We're going to go to one more break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we'll have the start of the third period between Suffolk and UMass Boston. Well, welcome back, Beacons Broadcasting Network. Just about set for the opening face-off of the third period. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Scudris, as the Beaks looking to cling to this one-goal advantage with 20 minutes to go. All evened up, 5-on-5 to begin the third. Top line out there for both teams as Morissette wins it from Cote, and the Beacons will look to take advantage. From neutral ice, it's sent all the way down, and getting there first is Adamy. Casey hassled from behind by Cote, gets it around Adams, far side for Morissette. Morissette settles it down, feeds it out to neutral ice for Beauregard, able to regain it between her skates and skates into the attacking zone, backhanded around the end board to the far side corner. Stick lift there from Falieris, unsuccessful, but eventually Ellie does acquire the puck, tries to hand it off to Morissette. Moy was poking it away from her, and now it's Duff emerging with possession, trying to clear it, but Galucci keeps it in. Beauregard sending it behind the net to the end boards. Moy eventually siphons it all the way down, where it's taken in the Beacons half of the ice by Lizzie Saxer. Ariel Galucci with the Beacons going for a line change up over the neutral ice into the attacking zone. Tried to feed it in front for Peacock, who was pinching in, but it's intercepted by Duff. 65 seconds into the third period. Saxer can't keep it in. That one made its way out to neutral ice and now motored ahead by Pulaski. A shot, great save with a waffle board by the netminder to Pippo as Pulaski tried to go far side from where she stood on the circle.
And we've seen this throughout the day. DePippo just standing her ground there. That's another opportunity as this puck looks like it's going to go for an icing. You see the goaltender with speed, forward coming in on an angle, and DePippo just makes it look routine. Comes down on the angle. That's a challenging shot, a hard shot to the blocker side. She's able to just easily read that, puts it off the wall. The puck goes down the other end. Now, unfortunately, the Beacons ice it. So you're going to get an in-zone draw here for the Rams, and fortunately for the Beacons, they win that one back.
Face off one by Moritz. Sending it near side. Peacock couldn't grasp it, though, as Kennedy takes the shot from the point. That made its way all the way through, and then on the rebound chance is denied as DePippo stops Molly Dowd. And the Lakeville, Connecticut native looking up towards the heavens with 18:22 to go.
Yeah, and you see that shot, a little bit of a butterfly there. Not the goaltending technique, but the shot rather coming in, kind of floating in on DePippo, and that's what made the rebound a little bit more challenging. She was able to corral herself and get that one, too. Beacons with another defensive draw.
And the third line back out there here for the first time in the third period, having scored both the Beacons' goals. As tumbling down over the net. We've seen a Beacon do that. We've seen a Ram do that. This time it was Lizzie Saxer. Leffler then goes down behind the net.
Yeah, it could be tricky, that net there. Got to watch out. It's not. It's I can't help but laugh. Something that I think you play long enough, really where that is. That's like that'd be like a batter stepping on home plate and tripping to fall. You know where it is at all times. And like you said, that's the second time today where an object that doesn't move has caused that's the second trip of the day. You got to get a call there.
Meanwhile, somebody trips up a neutral ice as the Rams have scored. They even it up. A blast from the slot by Peyton Dacus and the freshman from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, with her 5th goal of the year. And it's all evened up. Whole new hockey game, 2-2.
Well, that's a snipe. Dacus, the freshman, like you said, from Detroit Honey Baked in Michigan, and clearly with some skill with the puck there. That in the slot, that's a twisted wrister, blocker side high, and when a puck's labeled like that from the slot, it's very challenging for the goaltender to make that save. You saw there, DePippo read it right, just shot was better, and we've got a 2-2 hockey game.
Whole new hockey game as we're focusing on players tripping all over the ice. The Beacons saw 3 players trip either over inanimate objects or themselves on that shift. And I don't want to say it directly led to a goal, but it certainly helped get them out of their comfort zone as we are all evened up. Peyton Dacus and Shayna Cote with the goals, the 2 freshman top liners for these visiting Rams, and youth showing it does not matter today. 3 minutes into the third period, Jordan gets the feed and then goes down. Izzy Hendry watching and trying to get back to help as Falieris sends it behind the net. Top line out there for the Beacons. Morissette back to the point. Palucci settled it down but couldn't get it. Now coming the other way was Duff. Tried to siphon it towards Pulaski, but unable to do so as the Beacons gain possession. Parent over the line all alone. 4-on-1. Got it poked away by Dowd. Behind the net, taken in. And then getting slowed up there was Savage. And eventually the Rams able to break out to neutral ice. Kennedy over the red line around Fisher. Still has possession, but King uses her body to get between Kennedy and the puck and take it away. She then turns it over behind the net. Pulaski tried to send it out in front. Knocked down as Ariel Gallucci got in the passing lane. And now this one sent back to the red line. Beacons to begin this third period very much on their heels. That entire shift prior to the goal was ugly for many reasons. And then the goal, and now since then, same situation. Parent all the way in. The 19 skater for the Beacons behind the net. Second line out there to join her, Lund and Moritz. On the blue line, still Gallucci. Long shift for her. She's joined by Adamy. Here's Casey. Takes the shot, blocked down. She has to keep it in as Parent had hit the bench for Peacock. Dumped all the way in. 15:45 to go, third period. We got a whole new game. Beacons led 2-0 in the second period. It's now 2-2. Behind the net it comes. Chased down by Adamy. Adamy, D to D. Ariel back to Casey. Forecheck, aggressive. Forcing the turnover almost was Donahue, but the Beacons maintain possession. Peacock, though, can't handle it. In the attacking zone, here's Johnson. Tried to send it in front, but Moritz was there to deny it and send it behind the net. Adamy getting through a couple of defenders, almost a trip, but instead here's Casey using all 5 foot 8 inches of her body from Buffalo, New York to get it all the way and still has possession. Casey Adamy all the way around, hands it off Gallucci. Getting back in position as Moritz takes a shot from a very difficult angle, almost behind the net, and with it hits the back of the net. Gallucci from the point takes the shot. No deflection off a Beacon. It was instead the defender going by Harris. Peacock's rebound chance denied. Behind the net now, Peacock and Harris fighting for it along with Moy. Peacock back to the point. There's a shot. High riser off the glove of the netminder, and that one trickles wide and getting a whistle as Caporuso had make the deflection. We're going to get a high stick on the Beacons.
Should not the penalty for him, but rather just a stoppage, like you said there, John. And, that play starts with Adamy, and Beacons were really struggling. I was about to make a point. Here we go again. I'm not able to pass it out of their own zone on the breakout. Adamy says, well, forget that. I'll just skate it out myself. You saw that, like you said, the big frame. Able to take that into the zone and end up being a pretty decent shift for the Beacons there. Able to get some pressure. Just a high stick there kind of ended that, but a little bit of a scary scene there if you're the Beacons. Going back to what we saw more in the first here is another turnover there on that wall. We've seen it at times today.
Dacus took it away, but then lost an edge, and the Beacons coming back the other way. Harris out there with Kozik in front. Leffler joining them for this third line that scored both the Beacons' goals. And going back to Adamy's play, skating it through, the Beacons so inefficient passing in their own zone. I'm surprised they don't try that more, especially when there's no checking in women's hockey. Here's Leffler taking a shot. Good block down in front. Settled down for a chance from Saxer at the point. Denied by the netminder, Caporuso. She got over to kick it away.
That's a great point, John. Especially with the ability, some of these defense really do skate very, very well. And it's not a last resort. It should almost sometimes be the first resort.
As Morissette's shot was deflected from the slot. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have the skaters to do it, the worst possible scenario is that you turn it over, but as long as the other defender maintains positioning behind the one who's trying to skate it over the blue line, you can really minimize any issues, as that is icing on UMass Boston with 13:18 to go.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I think especially, certain times, even when those passes connect, Beacons have been just in and out of sync today. And, hey, if I'm the defenseman, I see a lane. Like you said, you can't hit me. The worst that can happen, you get a stick check. And sometimes you do a couple of those. It forces the Rams team to kind of back off a little bit, and then you can kind of go back to that original play on the wall. But when you're as predictable as the Beacons have been sometimes on these breakouts, you really do need to mix things up. And I think that's one of the ways you can do it.
Another icing on UMass Boston. Deja vu all over again, too, in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's again, the passing just has not been crisp for this Beacons team. And it's, the adversity, I think, we've seen a regression now. They got away from it. The passing was better. They were more aggressive there for the second into the third period. And then now the Rams have tied this up, and all of a sudden they've gone back to a little bit of what we saw as that puck goes off the crossbar and out. That one didn't miss by much.
That was Moy firing it from the point, the 5 foot 8 inch defender, looking for her first career goal.
And never good when you see a coaching staff that is making rapid line changes. That's a a team looking for a spark, trying to get back a little bit of this momentum.
Good poke check as able to get it out of the zone is Harris. She's got Kozik, tried to backhand it towards her, trickling through the wickets of Duff, but good play by Madison to settle it down. Back to the point, gets through Fisher all the way down. DePippo settled it down, but was unable to get it to Bree Colucci. Adams was able to poke it away from her. Cote backhanded to the end boards to the far side corner. Fisher tried to get it back to Colucci. Poke checked by Cote. Good one-touch feed from Kozik to get it to Leffler. Now potentially numbers for the Beacons as Leffler's up over the blue line. She had to spin around with the aggressive play made defensively by Schultz and was able to at least force the Beacons to slow up and prevent any odd man rush. Beacons, though, in the attacking zone behind the net. Kozik with possession still. Tried to use the left arm or the right arm being tied off the stick to get it back to the point, but it comes all the way down where Fisher will outrace the man to the puck. But next man back, and we are going to get a whistle here with 12 minutes on the dot and a penalty coming up.
Yeah, something behind the play. Not quite sure what the call is here or what team it's on, John. It was definitely behind the play. Is it the Rams that are going to be short? Or yeah, it'll be the Rams that are shorthanded here.
It's Grace Schultz.
Schultz on a hold.
A freshman from Illinois on a hold. Yeah, and as you said, way behind the play because Schultz was all the way in her own zone when all that was going on.
Yeah, we were looking more towards the puck here, so didn't actually see the infraction, but a golden opportunity here. Still plenty of time in this third period here. The Beacon power play has been okay today. Would like to see a few more shots on goal, but the hold behind the play from Scholes is going to give this Beacons team an opportunity for some scoring chances.
Face-off won by the Rams. 2 minutes for holding on Grace Schultz as the defender will sit for 2. Beacons trying to get back into the attacking zone in what is a 2-2 hockey game. UMass Boston led it 2-0 in the second period. And now they're just struggling to skate as Leffler goes down. Here comes Dacus shorthanded. Peyton shot blocked down, still loose in front, a backhanded opportunity. But a good effort there as the Beacons prevented any chance for a scoring opportunity. Jane Morissette, main defender there. Over the red line, Moritz fires it in, bouncing puck deflected wide of the net. Whiffing on a chance to clear, setting up Moritz. It's in front, and Edie is denied by Caparuso as she found the lucky charm trickling towards the net with 11:11 to go.
Yeah, you said it, fanning on the clearing attempt, and all of a sudden it was a scoring opportunity for Moritz. The puck seemed to be rolling a little bit. She wasn't able to corral it, I think, as much as she had wanted. And Caparuso with a good stop there. That was a grade A opportunity for this Beacons team. But I think wanted a little bit more on that shot as Caparuso was able to corral it fairly easily.
11:11 in the period, 1:11 in the power play. It's Beacons win the face-off. Behind the net. Back now Beauregard, near side at the blue line. Nice beat, far side, one-time chance, and not able to get good wood on it was Kozik as she was looking for a one-time goal.
That's a great pass from Beauregard, looking for the same play.
And now it's going to be cleared all the way down, and the Beacons will get there first as the Beaks with a golden opportunity. Beautiful feed from Beauregard. Beacons, though, unable to tally.
And you got to have some really good strength in order to one-time those pucks. Sometimes I wish the girls would just catch that puck first and then fire it as another pass there. That far side, Beauregard's all over it on that backdoor pass. But some of the time we've seen it before, those one-timers, just not enough on it to get it towards the net. But a great look, nevertheless, from Beauregard on that crossing pass.
Peacock trying to find Falieres on the far side, but couldn't settle it down. And a trip right in front of the referee. I'm not going to pull a Jack Edwards here, but that was a bit inauspicious. As from neutral ice, 10 minutes to go, the power play is over.
Yeah, we talked a little bit off air about his ability to get the pom-poms out often for that Bruins team. Thanks for not suscepting us to that.
Well, sometimes you just got to know when to shut up as a broadcaster. I've learned that. Jack may not have, but he's paid much bigger bucks than I am, so
true.
how am I to tell him what
true.
to do? As Harris has possession, Beacons remain unsuccessful in the power play today. They're now 0 for 3. As that one stumped all the way in. This should be icing. And it is, as Beaks, with 9:29 to go, we'll have a face-off in the attacking zone.
And again, like we talked about, you see that even at the highest level in the NHL, those one-timers, only the best of the best can get those off. I think of 3 players off the top of my head, Ovechkin, Stamkos, and Laine are the ones who can do it most consistently. But players have trouble with it. And if it's a tough play, you've got a puck coming in really hard, and if you don't get it in the sweet spot, you're going to miss. And we've seen that a couple times with this Beacons team where that pass is coming through hard, and sometimes it's even better just to catch it and release it quickly versus trying to get it off immediately on the one-timer.
Bree Colucci with 9:10 to go in the third. Trying to break out. Finds Leffler. Third line still out there. Might as well call it the first line today. It's tumbling down Leffler. No call. Jordan got a skate on Katie's skate as they're going to let him play here. Nice takeaway by Kozik. Just sends a saucering lob towards the net. Looked like Caparuso wanted to get rid of it, but wasn't quite sure, and the referee had enough. 8:53 to go, a face-off to her right.
That's subtly a nice break for the Beacons there. That was really just a dump there from Leffler. The Beacons were trying to change all 5. It would have been a very easy breakout for the Rams, but Caparuso just not quick enough on that release, getting it to her defenseman, forced the referee to blow that whistle dead, and there's a subtle break there for the Beacons.
Icing now on the Rams, so the Beaks will move on back to where they came from. In case you're wondering, these two teams, only one overtime game between them. The Beacons lost 1-0 on October 30th at Endicott. Suffolk has yet to play an overtime affair. But we still got 8:43 to go before that becomes a reality. Plenty of hockey as the Beacons have blown a 2-0 advantage. Now tied at 2 against their NEHC rivals, the Suffolk Rams.
Have not seen a lot from this top line. And they come in hot. Beauregard, Valieris, and Morissette just not a lot of time with the puck today. They've had a couple shots on goal, I believe, as a 5-on-5 unit, but have not seen what traditionally has been the most consistent line for the Beacons so far this year.
Good defense by Colucci as she was able to tie up the attacker, and that sets up the Beacons the other way. Beauregard, nice speed for Fisher, but got that one off the end of her stick as she could not find the back of the net.
Yeah, great play by Beauregard. She was being harassed completely, and I'm surprised she even had enough room to get that pass across. A good opportunity for, like you said, Fisher there, and wasn't able to get it on net.
From neutral ice, Beacons poking it forward. Jane Andrill, she'll skate it over and into the attacking zone with 7:40 to go here in the third. Behind the net for Peacock. Rachel fighting for it along with Stephanie Moy. Gets some help from Lund. Lund back to the point. Good feed, but Drill whiffs on the shot attempt as she was looking to fire that on net, but maybe got a little bit too excited.
Yeah, you see it again. Another, as this goes for icing on the Rams, but another great play. Drill able to have a lane there and just tries to one-time it. Again, that's a challenging play, especially with as hard as that puck is being passed. You really do have to get a lot of weight and a lot of strength behind it in order to get the puck to do what you want. You saw another case there at the blue line.
Good face-off win by Leffler, who's been outstanding this season in almost every facet. However, the Beacons do turn it over in the attacking zone. That leads the other way to Pulaski, dumping it down for Dowd. And another icing on the Rams. They need to get some fresh legs out there and continue to be unable to do so here in the third period.
Yeah, a lot of times if you catch a team tired like this, you kind of force these icings. They just don't have enough in the tank right now. They need a change, and these icings are forcing them to stay on the ice.
Face-off won by Leffler, but no one was home where the puck trajectory took it. Jane Andrill from neutral ice uses the boards in front of the bench for the Rams to find Leffler. Leffler tried to center it. No one was home. The only one there was Pulaski. And this one trickles out to neutral ice. Pulaski tumbles down there. She collided with Leffler. No call. Saxer dumping it in. Chasing after it, Harris. Beacons, Jane Andrill will hit the bench for Gallucci. They'll get fresh blue liners out there with 6:38 to go. Trying to clear but unable to do so was Moy. In the corner, to a side, fighting for it. Eventually able to emerge is the 5'7" right winger, Jesse Kennedy. Kennedy finds the 5'10" left winger, Emily Johnston. And she gets it deeper for Leffler, who's still out there. Long shift for her. She'll probably head to the bench soon, but instead it's a turnover as Adamy overskates it. Johnston got there, but couldn't settle it down as Leffler came over to help out. Jordan fires it towards the net, That one settled down by Leffler to be taken in by Gallucci with 6 minutes to go. Turnover in front. Chance, good save. Another try and a good save there as DePippo denies Sydney Teets not once but twice.
Tough turnover there. Gallucci, the captain, put that in a bad spot. She's fortunate that didn't cost her.
That's a delayed offsides on the Rams as Johnston had to get onside. She did now, but Adamy has time to send it far side for Ariel. Ariel will get over the red line and dump it for a dump and chase as Morissette in the top line is back out there. Morissette along with Beauregard and Falieris as that one is sent by the defender Gallucci at the point but didn't make its way through. Stretch feed trying to find Teets as that was Izzy Hendry doing the honors of passing it and clearing it with 5:30 to go. Fresh legs for the Rams. Beacons with possession. Here's Beauregard onside. No, they say after a bit of a delay that they were in fact offside with 5:19 to go.
Just off, and if you're the Beacons really looking for a spark here, you've done a really great job in keeping the puck in that offensive zone. They've had Suffolk pinned, but really don't have much to speak for it. I don't think have challenged the goaltender very much at all so far. I mean, the shifts have been great, but again, we've seen some problems that these shifts just really haven't turned into any scoring opportunities.
Cote got the feed from Adams in the near side circle, or from the far side circle. Beg your pardon. 5 minutes to go. That shot was blocked. Scholes dumps it all the way in. 2-2 game. Fisher behind the net. Poked away from her by Adams. Adams has been pretty silent today for someone who has 15 points on the year. Schultz, meanwhile, high-rising shot misses. High and wide. Kept in by Savage. Behind the net, Adams couldn't get possession. Beacons trying to get out of harm's way. They do as Peacock gets it. Peacock all alone, 1-on-2. Moritz coming in to her left. But Peacock got taken into the board smartly there on a good defensive effort by Johnston. From behind the net, Moritz tried to backhand it in front, lost possession, and now coming back the other way with it is Pulaski. Pulaski, far side boards into the attacking zone towards the corner with 4:15 to go. The next goal could be the difference maker as Moritz gets possession, finds Peacock, 2-on-2. Peacock has Harris. Peacock tried to shoot it right off the skate of Duff, and Matt Meisenbacher not a big fan of that one.
Yeah, just would have loved to seen Peacock try to get that to the far side a little bit sooner. She had that winger crashing backdoor. It was a tough play, not an easy play by any means, but boy, if she could have just found that, even off the pad there, tried a little bit of a backdoor play, it was a little chance there for her to get that one through, just wasn't able to find the lane.
Beeks from neutral ice, 3:35 to go. Fisher, far side, sacks her. One touch off Kozik. Leffler lets it go. Kozik whiffs on the shot. Leffler takes advantage. Backhander through the crease, but whistles towards the near side boards. Kozik hands it off for Leffler. Leffler using her wheels, getting all the way around the D. Backhand shot, saved with the shoulder by Caparuso, and she'll cover as Kozik was bearing down for a rebound.
You see Leffler just playing with the utmost confidence there, wheeling around the top of the slot there. She's on her backhand. She was really trying to, I think, find a passing play or try to get that to her forehand for a shot, but it wasn't there. And just a smart play to try and get that up over the shoulder of the goaltender, Caparuso. A good save there on the hot hand, Leffler.
Beauregard off a face-off win by Morissette. That one, though, whistles wide. Tumbling down was Saxer at the blue line. And, yes, the Beacons have drawn a penalty. And so UMass Boston will go to the power play. I believe interference is the call with 3:01 to go.
Yep. Teets is going to go. It's going to be an interference call, and boy, you couldn't ask for much more here. The Beacons at home, a late power play here in this third period. You've possessed the puck well, and not a ton of scoring opportunities besides that one we just saw from Leffler. This first power play unit, I think the key to this one has got to be let's get some shots here. There's been a lot of passing, but not a lot of scoring opportunities.
As with 3 minutes left, the Beacons head to the man advantage for 2. However, short-handed, Dacus aggressively forechecking. Beacons taking it away. Here's Peacock. Peacock's got a man on the far side. She tried to take it right into the slot herself and never got a shot away.
Yeah, not a great play there by Peacock. She had Lund all by herself there on the wing, and on a power play there, you really want to set up. It just didn't have a great lane. There were two defensemen in the slot there.
Falieris, Peacock, Lund on the forwards as Gallucci and Beauregard are towards the point. That pass from Lund towards Gallucci off the mark. 1:20 to go on the power play. Turnover at neutral ice. Here's Cote. He's already got a power play goal looking for a shorty. That one whistles wide near side. 3 Beacons down there. And they had emerged with possession, but what an aggressive and good penalty kill here from Cote. And now Pulaski, but that's a delayed offsides, or else Pulaski was going in for a breakaway.
Oh, without question there. Great play by Cote on the wall, just outworking as this puck's going to be offsides. Cote outworking 3 Beacons on that power play, worth at least 10 or 15 seconds there on that rush. Still 55 on the power play here for the Beacons. Haven't really generated much yet. Still plenty of time here, but again, another lost draw. This is going to come all the way down, and some more time off that clock.
Slop fest on this power play for the Beaks, and been that way on the power play today for the most part for UMass Boston. As they came in at a 30% clip with the man advantage, but not carrying over to today's action as that one's sent out to the red line. Beacons will have to regroup with 30 seconds left on the man advantage, 90 seconds in regulation time.
Yeah, not enough urgency, John. It doesn't really feel like you've got a chance to win the game here, essentially, and it doesn't really feel like it for the Beacons. Not enough sense of urgency as that puck. Great play by DePippo to recognize their defenseman beat there on the clearing attempt. But
and now Adams with a shorthanded chance. Tough angle, good save DePippo. That puck is out. No, they're going to say they kept it in. Duff was able to get there as Madison then gets tied up and held. Surprised that's not a penalty. Beacons getting a break. Meanwhile, here's Adams. Power play is over. That was ugly. 60 seconds to go in regulation time as Moy will send it all the way in. Beacons, though, settle it down near sideboards at the blue line. Moritz connecting here, even strength with Peacock. Rachel's had a tough third period. Tries to wiggle her way through the defense. Can't do it. Leffler out there. Leffler backhanded towards Peacock. 43 seconds to go. Rachel, though, gets her pocket picked by Kennedy, and Jesse will skate it out to neutral ice. 35 seconds left, regulation time. And that's the amount of time separating us from overtime. Behind the net for Pulaski. Pulaski tried to whistle it in front. Trying to connect there with Duckus. There, Miles has a chance. A shoulder save off a point blast as DePippo made the denial on Sidney Jordan.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. That's a very difficult save for a goaltender that hasn't seen a ton of action in this period. To get a shot like that, a heavy shot to the blocker side through traffic, and to be able to read that all the way through. That's a great reaction save from DePippo. I don't think she got a good read on it, John. I think might have seen it at the last second, but her positioning carried her there, and a timeout. But that's a big save. That had a chance of going in, John. That was at least one screen, if not two. And DePippo, with a good blocker save, was able to corral the rebound. Now, 21 seconds left. This is obviously game on the line here on this draw. It is key anytime on a defensive draw that if we cannot, one, lose this draw clean, and if we do lose it, that we know our assignments. Oftentimes on these plays, you're going to see the offensive team or the team with the puck in the offensive zone run something creative. There's going to be a lot of switches or a puck into an area that it normally wouldn't be. You're going to see most teams will try to go with something creative here, being that there's only 21 seconds in the game. So if you're the Beacons, you got to make sure that you know your assignments. If we lose this draw, what are we doing? Most teams are going to have you pack the house.
And if you win the draw with the lack of success the Beacons have had passing in their own zone, you almost don't mind just icing the puck. Yeah, you're going to kill off 7-8 seconds with only 21 to go.
You're exactly right. You give it one quick look to see if you have a quick outlet option, and if it's not there, the safe play is just off the glass, get it to the neutral zone, allow your forwards to take it from there. But this is a huge draw. Let's see who the Beacons go with here. It looks like it's going to be Morissette for the Beacons, and she wins it clean back. That's a big win there for 7.
Certainly is. Adamy backhanded D-to-D. Ariel Gallucci, and Ariel just trying to clear it. She cannot. It's kept in towards the net as it bounces off Adamy's skate and trickles up the leg of DePippo, who had to make a very poised denial there.
Well, you wonder what Gallucci saw there. Someone was calling for the puck, but that one floated through, and here we go again. Another in-zone draw for the Beacons.
Morissette against Cote, and Jane wins it again. How clutch. But again, the Beacons defenders can't keep it in their grasp. Jordan's shot blocked down in front by Morissette, and then she took a whack at it, accidentally took down her teammate. That's going to lead to a chance and a whistle as we have run out of time. Oh, boy, Jane Morissette, she's feeling it a little on that right leg, you can tell, but she took 1, 2, or 3 for the team on that shift to send us to overtime.
Well, 7, just huge. The senior here, late in the third period, 2 crucial wins on the faceoff circle, blocked 2 shots, and boy, oh boy, coaching staff reliance on the senior there as the Suffolk Rams threw everything they had at him there. A couple in-zone draws. Yeah, that thing got a little bit hairy there. And a couple opportunities there almost in the back of the net. But here we are going to overtime. Beacon's trying to find a way to win this one at home as this game, it seemed like the start of the third period had pretty good momentum, and then it kind of slipped away from them there as time drew on. The Rams looking pretty good. But as you know, in overtime, all it takes is a bounce. And both these teams, just over a minute here as they collect themselves, will try to walk out of this weekend with a couple points.
UMass Boston, 60 seconds away from overtime in a few years. When Seth Orensky, if he's still here, makes trivia questions. Maybe one of them will be, what was the result of the first ever Suffolk University UMass Boston game? And that'll be, it went to overtime at the very least, as well as a 5-minute overtime period, sudden death. Nobody scores. We will
keep that one in the memory bank.
Yeah.
You know, that one will come back.
Or who scored the game-winning goal, so we'll
You know
see
this one will come back, absolutely.
if somebody does. It's the second overtime game of the year for Suffolk. Their second overtime game of the year for UMass Boston. Their first coming back on October the 30th against Endicott, a 1-0 loss. Suffolk has never played an overtime game, so maybe the Suffolk Broadcasting Network will have what was our first ever overtime game in the NEHC. Well, it'll be against UMass Boston. The teams will switch sides for the overtime period. Beacons moving from right to left. The Rams moving from left to right. UMass Boston will have familiar line out there, the top line, as Falieres, Beauregard, and Morissette. And on the blue line, Gallucci and Adamy. And for the visitors, ditto. Top lines on the blue line, Duff and Moy and Cote, Dacus, and Adams. Beacons win the face-off back into their own zone. 5 minutes to go in overtime. As the next one to score wins it. If no one does, we'll have a tie. Behind the net it comes, over the grasp of Gallucci. Adamy the first there. Casey trying to do it again, just skating it out. Instead, she turns it over. Luckily, Ariel's back, but it's a 2-on-1. Good poke check for Gallucci, preventing any sort of chance there for Cote and Dacus.
Great play by the senior defenseman to break up that 2-on-1.
Cote, from her own zone, turns it over. Adamy trying to set up a rush offensively for this top Beacons line. It is poke check by Cote to neutral ice. Adamy couldn't wheel it into the attacking zone. Taken over by Beauregard. She'll send it near side. Coming off the boards, behind the net, Moy will be the first one there. Swats it away from Morissette. Near side, Adams hands it off to Duff. And eventually here is Madison Duff. 3-on-2. 2-on-1 now as Cote was late. A shot from Duff rising up. Good save made by DePippo with 57 seconds into overtime.
Yeah, really good save there from DePippo. I think the key there, not allowing a rebound. And that 2-on-1 there, that was a heavy shot. Again, Suffolk coming in the zone with speed. DePippo with a great read, no rebound, was able to corral the puck.
Face-off, swatted right towards the net by Kennedy. Poked away by the stick of DePippo. Beacons with possession. This is the third line back out there. Kozik, Leffler, and Harris, along with Gallucci and Fisher on the blue line. Kennedy out there, along with Johnston and Dowd for the visiting Rams. Meanwhile, here come the Beacons, led by Leffler. Man, it drops back to Kozik. Lost possession. It's just sitting on a tee. Poke check by Gallucci. Far side, Kozik. Nice stick move. Backhand, Kozik save. Rebound loose far side. And Kozik tried to poke at it, but it was swatted away by Schultz. Nice backhanded feed in front. Kozik, and then deflected by Schultz from point-blank range as Kaylee Kozik was trying to get the winner.
John, this line has been buzzing all day there. You see two scoring opportunities. They're really close to getting this one over.
Back to the point for Fisher. Grace tees it up, blocked down by Dowd. Still in the zone. Trying to poke it back to Fisher was Kozik, couldn't do it. Fighting for it. Savage lost it. Back to the neutral ice. Backhander by Leffler, turned over. With possession, here's Schultz. Offsides as Pulaski just got in front of Grace Schultz. A break for UMass Boston.
Beacons are fortunate. That 2-on-1, they had all three forwards caught, and a defenseman who got caught on a half pinch. And that 2-on-1 with speed there, Beacons are fortunate. They went off sides as, boy, that could have generated a good opportunity there for those Rams.
Face-off won by Suffolk. Adams got poked away by Peacock. Peacock got tied up and tumbled down, no call. And now emerging from that no call is Adams, the team leader in points through the slot. Backhander and a save made as kicking the leg out, and the stick was Alyssa DePippo.
Nice save, top point getter with Adams there on a rush, and a good stick save there from DePippo.
Moy tried to siphon it around the sideboards, but instead it's taken in. And Jane Andrill cross-ice feed connecting with Peacock. Peacock's got Lunn over the ice with her. Peacock deflection, and that one went off of Moy and trickled wide. Settling down near side, Erica Lunn. Another check there, no call. Took down two Beacons. Sent to neutral ice. Cote trying to get there first, but Saxter did the smart move, just dumped it deeper. Here is Duff. Duff over the line. Madison Duff, a shot, and that one denied by the glove of DePippo with 2:06 to go.
Yeah, both these teams here with a couple opportunities. You saw Suffolk right out of the gate on a rush. We're able to get a couple shots there. Beacons come down. They counter. They get a couple opportunities with their best line, the third line today, and now here are the Rams again on a couple more rushes. And back and forth here in this overtime period. Still 2 minutes to go.
120 seconds, as Mr. Meisenbacher said, from the Beacon zone. Ariel Gallucci trickles over Beauregard's stick. Backhand feed by Falieras. Is that off the mark? Taking it over, neutralized Jordan. Jordan over the blue line, into the zone, gets around the D, but a great poke check by Gallucci. She lost an edge, but not her composure as she poked it away.
It was her last move, John. That's all she had, and she was able to get that stick onto the opposing stick. Yeah, that's in the skates. That's a penalty, but a great play by Gallucci to save herself there.
90 seconds left. Beauregard leads the rush. Takes the shot. Waffle boarded away. Trying to go near side post. Beacons watching as it's cleared off the glove of Gallucci. Settled down by Adamy. Fresh line here for the Rams. Adamy couldn't get it to Falieras. Comes down. No icing. Beacons getting a couple of new skaters as well. Behind the net. Falieras feeding it towards the point, but no one's there. 65 seconds left in this hockey game.
Got to be sure on a pass like that. You've got it in the offensive zone. You give a free out there to the Rams on a play like that.
Good poke check as that sets up a chance. Adamy, the freshman blue liner from Buffalo, setting it up in front, but the pass just behind Leffler as she was tied up a bit by Adams.
Just missed her. I like it. Get it to 16 if you can.
Leffler keeps it on her stick. 45 seconds. She's got Kozik in front. Was unable to find Elena shot, and that one whistles wide far side. Back to the point, Adamy. She sends it a bouncing puck just wide of the net. Also on the far side post. 33 seconds to go. Beacons with momentum. Getting taken down is Harris. From her knees, try to backhand it. And instead, here come the Rams the other way with numbers. Adams gets the pass from Dacus. The team leader in points, a backhand denied by the netminder DePippo. 19 seconds separating us from a tie. A blast from the point, and what a save by DePippo, snatching it from the air like ripened fruit on the shot from Madison Duff from the far side point.
Well, John, without question, this has been the best action today. We've seen it both down both ends. Both teams really going for the win. I don't think either team looking for a tie here. You saw the Beacons with a great shift. We're going to get a timeout. Beacons start with a great shift. And they were all over. They had the Rams pinned. They were all over it. Just couldn't. Again, it's been a consistent theme today. Just can't get that puck to an area where you have a good scoring opportunity. And then, sure enough, down the other end, Rams on a rush. And, boy, you said it. That shot had some heat on it. And DePippo was able to deflect that into her own glove there. A big stop. She's looked good today. Still 2-2 here in OT. 15 seconds to play. And just whatever I said there at the end of the third period, copy-pasted here for overtime. Another big draw now. Again, a defensive draw for the Beacons, and I'll remind the viewers maybe who had to step away, you can't lose it clean, and if you do lose it, you've got to know your assignment here. They did a good job. I would be shocked if it's not Morissette, again, taking this draw. She won the first two fairly well. First one was clean. Second one, she was able to win back, and would be shocked if she's not the one taking this defensive draw again.
15 seconds remaining in overtime. And with that time remaining, it's going to be tough for the Beacons to get possession and come all the way down. So you may be looking at either a tie or a loss here if you're Coach Dom Lozzi.
Well, if you're the wing here, you can. If you win it clean, you've seen Morissette have a propensity to win these back. So if you're the wing in the slot there and you see that, you can shoot the gap, but it's a risky play.
It's going to be Edie Moritz taking the face-off against Cote, and Cote won it. Back to the point, Duff. Another shot, and boy, Alyssa DePippo is on her A game today. She makes the deny with 11 seconds left.
Yeah, she's reading it real well. A shot from the blue line there, and let's see, is it going to be Moritz again? Yeah, they like Moritz on that side. Let's see.
Moritz against Cote. Cote wins it again. Back to the point for Duff. Far side Moyes. Shot through trees in front. Deflection. Still loose. Backhander. Just wide of the net. As Cote couldn't tuck it home. Back. Last chance for Romance. Blocked down in front. And this game will end the way it began. A tie as the Beacons and the Rams get their first draws of the 2018-19 campaign. The final score, the Suffolk Rams 2, the UMass Boston Beacons 2. And they say the ties are like kissing your sister, Matt. I know when I broadcast, I'm not a huge fan. Would love to see if we could get like a shootout at the D3 level, but
sure.
I don't really love the shootout in the NHL, so maybe I'm the biggest hypocrite outside of Jack Edwards. But when you look back at this one, the Beacons had the lead. They had a 2-0 advantage. They didn't play great in the first half. It almost seems like they played better in the second half of the game, and yet they were outscored 2-0 in the second half of the game. When you look back at this game as a whole, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, didn't love the game from the Beacons today. I've seen them play better as a team and as a unit. I think the goaltender DePippo really played great. I mean, she really made some key saves there, especially towards the end. She looked confident in the net. I think the Beacons, there's some good there. You know, they had flashes in the pan where they seemed to be a really good team, moving the puck well. The passing was crisp, generated some scoring opportunities, and clearly can capitalize. But for the most part, I think a lot left to be desired in the way that this team breaks out of their own zone. They just didn't have the spark and the energy we're used to seeing with this team, and I think the coaching staff is going to want to watch the film on this one. What stood out to me is that third line. Harris, Leffler, and Kozik. I think the Beacons will probably would have probably lost this game if that line wasn't as productive. And they were buzzing all day today. You got to love what you saw from that line. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side of the coin you're on, a 2-2 tie here at home for the Beacons. So not a win, not a loss, but some room for improvement there, I think, for this Beacon squad.
Meanwhile, Alyssa DePippo continues to improve here in her senior year. Her first 3 years on Beaconville, largely a backup. Now here she stepped up, especially with Katie Flagg, the junior from Methuen, being injured for the first couple of weeks of this season. And she was strong today. She did give up the 2-0 lead, but one of them was a power play goal. The other was just a wicked shot and a rebound. She's been playing better over the course of the last couple of games, and when Flagg is healthy, it's going to be interesting to see what the coaching staff decides to do with those two.
Yeah, the way DePippo's playing right now, I don't see any way. I mean, it's got to be her crease. She's a senior goaltender. She looked really strong today. A lot of those pucks could have easily found second or third opportunities. A goaltender that with the confidence she has in the net, the way she's controlling her rebounds, you see the way she's making these saves. There's a presence about it. She looks so confident in the way she's reading the puck. So I'd be very surprised if this coaching staff, as good as Flagg has played, teeters away from DePippo as good as she's playing right now.
Meanwhile, we focused on the forwards, we focused on the goalies. Let's focus on the defense. The Beacons blue liner. I want to keep an eye on today. Casey Adamy.
Yeah.
This weekend's been her best weekend by far,
yeah.
The freshman from Buffalo. She had her first career point yesterday in the victory over Salem State, and then today she didn't get on the scoreboard, but her poise and her ability to skate with the puck from her own zone was clearly evident this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a great point, John. She really is coming along nicely. You know, it takes different freshmen. It takes them different times to get up to pace. It's a faster game at this level, and some freshmen click right away. Some take, need a couple games. Some need a month. And so you saw here today, I think Adamy really took it to the next level. She does have a presence with the way she carries the puck. You saw her a couple times where the passing on the breakouts just wasn't working. She carried it herself. She's getting more involved offensively, which I think is something that's an added bonus. I don't know if that was part of her skill set coming in, but she's adding it to her repertoire, and I think case in point of why you see number 20 on that top line with the captain Gallucci.
And more importantly for the Beacons, Gallucci is senior, and then 3 juniors, Gallucci, Fisher, and Sachs are in this top 6. Jane and Drill, the only other underclassmen. So when you take a look at not just next year, but the year after that, Adamy's then going to be the head honcho.
Yeah.
And she's going to be learning from one of the best over the last decade or so in Beaconville and Ariel Gallucci. So definitely something to keep an eye on. We're going to take a break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Go radio silent when we come back. We'll wrap things up with a bow, give you the final stats and more. Final score, Beacons and the Rams settle for a tie, 2-2 here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the post-game show here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scooters and Matt Meisenbach. Let's take a look at the final stats. Beacons outshot overall in this one, 32-31 by Suffolk, as the Rams battled back in the third and overtime with which to do that. Of course, the Beacons struggling again on the power play, 0 for 4 with the extra attacker coming in at 30%. Suffolk, though, 1 for 3, and that big one, that power play goal got them going. They were down 2-0. That power play goal in the second completely turned the tide of this game. Since then, they came back, tied it at 2, and dominated in overtime. They outshot the Beacons 6-2 in the overtime period. So Suffolk, when you walk away from this game, yes, they didn't get a win this weekend, but in their first year in the NEHC, they got to feel pretty good with how they're competing against some of these tougher teams.
I would think so. I really like the way the Rams played. I mean, they clearly know their systems, and I think the piece that stood out to me was how well they control the puck. I mean, it is not a game of hot potato with this team. When they have the puck, they know what to do with it, and they had a great effort in the neutral zone. That was the thing that stood out to me, was how easy they were going in and out of the neutral zone, whether it be on offense or on defense. I think this Rams team has a lot to look forward to and is only going to get better this season.
This is a team that has a couple of players with double-digit points now. Cote with 11, Tess Adams with 15 coming into today's game. She didn't even factor today in the scoreboard. So this is a team that knows how to put points on the board, and they'll continue to do so over the course of the coming weeks and months. Suffolk will be off for 2 weeks before they get back at it at home against Plymouth State and Southern Maine. Let's take a look at the 3 stars today, brought to you by Alyssa Fugel. Alyssa DePippo, number 1 star with 29 saves. Kristen Caparoso also a 29 save. She's our 3rd star. And Katie Leffler, 1 goal and an assist. She could have been the 1st star if the Beacons had won this game. She was outstanding today on that 3rd line. We've sung their praises pretty adequately, I'd say, today. Excited to see what they have coming up. Let's take a look at what the Beacons have coming up and where that 3rd line will be taking their talents next week. It'll be right here on Beaconville. Matt and I will have the call at 1 p.m. for their battle against Wesleyan in the Codfish Bowl, the 12th annual battle here from Beaconville. And then on Sunday, they'll take on either the winner or the loser, depending on what they do against Wesleyan of Manhattanville Bowdoin on Sunday, either at 1 p.m. or 4 p.m., depending on what happens against Wesleyan. And then the following week, the Beacons will be on the road against Southern Maine and Salve Regina. I want to thank our broadcasting crew, as always. Gigi Braga, our producer, Alyssa Fugel, our director, and apparently an Islanders fan. On camera, Kyle Penny. And for Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Scooters. Good night.